weekend series at Fenway Park, and Peyton Tolley will start. Also, the Sox have reportedly called up 35-year-old reliever Teheran Guerrero from Worcester and sent down pitcher Zach Kelly. There's some Bruins news, too. They have reportedly decided not to bring back assistant coach Jay Leach. His contract was set to expire. At the NHL playoffs, a surprise in Raleigh, North Carolina. The Hurricanes got run over by Montreal 6-2 in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Juraj Slafkovsky had 2 goals and an assist for the Canadiens. Las Vegas visits Colorado again tonight for Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals, up 1-0. At Madison Square Garden last night, the Knicks won again 109-93 over Cleveland to take a 2-0 lead in the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals. Oklahoma City visits San Antonio tonight with the West even at a game apiece. The LA Rams have signed quarterback Matthew Stafford to a 1-year, $55 million contract extension, and one of the better NASCAR drivers in history, Kyle Busch, passed away yesterday at the age of 41. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Super Service Today. Upgrade your home with an electric heat pump from Super Service Today. Stay cool this summer, warm all winter, and save on energy costs while reducing your carbon footprint. For a free estimate, visit superservicetoday.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
Yes, I finally shaved my nuts.
and Hardy
Who, me?
Just hanging around.
on 98.5
Anchorman, heard about you.
Yeah.
We're Costco guys. Of course we go shopping while eating a chicken bake.
That's gross.
Not a great cook, but I do cook.
When I asked him about the sides.
Kick them in the balls.
I don't care about it, but it's not good behavior.
Blaze Bailey is omitted.
Toucher and Hardy
We're the best friends that can be, my buddy and me.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go. Morning, everybody. Good morning.
We're doing another imitation now.
Morning. Bibbidi-ba. Yeah. Fred's got a tummy ache, so he's not here. Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios. Watch us on YouTube. 617-779-0985.
I don't know why you would. The beefcake isn't here today.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't be able to watch Fred on the YouTube anyway.
You're welcome, sir.
Do you want Fred here?
No?
Okay, well, good. Because he's not here. Will the show be better without him?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I think too. No, Fred texted early this morning and at 4-something a.m. saying he'd been all up all night with some kind of a stomach issue. So that's that.
Okay.
Bert Breer is going to be here at 7 o'clock, and Bert is going to stay for the 8 o'clock hour. Bert is not opposed to fun, but we have to see if Bert can have fun in new ways today. You know, did Bert do like a full 4-hour fill-in at any point this spring or any time during this show?
12?
Not in my time running it.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten bonus Bert a couple of times for like an extra segment. He was kind of, I mean, and thank you too, Bert, if he's listening on the way in right now. Like I texted him early this morning and said, hey, can you do like the 8 o'clock hour as well? And he was like, absolutely.
You think Bert's on the way in?
Yeah.
I don't think
Duxbury, he better be.
all I'm saying is Bert has shown a great ability to arrive at the very last minute. So I don't know if he is on the road yet. I would say probably not.
We have first of all, we haven't had a Bert late situation. I can't tell you the last time. That's how consistent this man has become, and I love that.
He's consistently walking in the door at 6:59. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, which is fine. But here's the wild card, John, and why I think he probably is getting an early jump on things today, because this is the Friday of the long weekend. So even though it's a Friday, first of all, so you got to take that into account travel wise, and second of all, you got to take into account, is it going to be insane because it is a holiday Friday travel, even at this hour?
But holiday Friday travel in at this time of the year, all the travel on Route 3 is going in the opposite direction. It's headed towards the Cape. And I was told by a multitude of newscasts yesterday that Thursday was the big travel day.
Thursday's the new
Day
Friday.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to 3-day weekends. Now, this is a classic Scott Zolak move. Banging out on a Friday before a holiday week or a holiday weekend or anything like that. It should be noted that Fred is scheduled to work on Monday.
Yes.
Which I used to do that a lot. And occasionally still will, but sometimes it really makes sense, like to be in here on, Mondays, whether it's MLK Day, whether it's President's Day, whatever. If it's during football season and it's Monday and you got something to talk about, well, I'll work that day and then bank that company holiday day. But I have come around in life to where if you're given a day off at any point, just take it.
Take it.
Now, you're not taking it, are you, John? Are you working Monday?
No. I have Monday off.
Everybody's off except Fred.
Are you working it?
No. So this whole room is taking Monday off. Myself, Ryan Beaton, Nicholas Jamili,
So
all off Monday.
who's Fred going to be here with on Monday?
It's Fred and Joe Murray.
Oh, that'll be
I think
fun.
Garvin's producing.
Okay.
So,
All right. That'll be a good show.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have the day off.
That was what I said.
Look,
especially and look, I'm not saying that Fred would make fun of me for like working too much and but it's not too much. It's fine.
Well,
there are people out there. I fully understand there are people out there working much longer hours, much harder jobs than what I do. But I do work every day of the week. I work a gig on Saturday. I work Friday nights. Pretty regularly. Regularly enough where I'm doing TV. Sports Hub Golf Club on Sunday.
That's
right.
That's this time of year too.
But there's other stuff. So every once in a while, when just presented with this random day off, maybe I'll just work and bank it. No, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take Memorial Day off.
Well,
I'm taking Memorial Day off.
Hardy, think of it this way. So before you were doing mornings here, what did we? But 3-4 years ago, what did we spend our Memorial Day weekends doing? Together a couple times there.
You and I?
Yeah, went to the Boston Calling Music Festival. Hardy, I've covered every Boston Calling Music Festival except for the very first one. So that's been my Memorial Day weekend for like 15 years now. So this was the first, and of course there's no Boston Calling this year. They took a year off. So that was what made the decision for me. I'm like, I can actually have like a 3-day weekend for in May for the first time in a decade and a half. Yeah, I think I'll take Monday off. So,
yeah.
When given the opportunity to sleep a little later, you grab at it. Again, what we do here is not rocket science. There are plenty of people working harder and plenty of people that are up earlier than we are. But given an opportunity to sleep past 4 a.m, I grab at it with 2 hands. So that is the reason I am not working on Monday.
See, this is weird about you, though. I think this is strange. When you sleep in on the weekends, when do you sleep in until?
Saturdays until about 7:30, Sundays later.
Tell me how late.
8:30, 9?
Oh, I thought it was even later than that.
No.
Okay. I incapable. Even when I wasn't working this show, I can't.
You can't sleep in on the weekend. That's always been a problem for you.
I mean, like, if it's a super long day and a super late night, like I've slept until like 8 o'clock, on a handful of occasions. And, I wake up and I feel like I've, lost time.
I didn't say I slept all the way through to 7:30 or 8:30.
No,
There's always
those days are long
what I'm saying is, and you guys know this all too well. Your eyes always pop open at 4,
4:15,
so you have to
whatever,
force yourself to roll over and try and get that valuable second sleep.
Yeah,
Which, by the way, if you can achieve it, is fantastic.
But you can't go too late on a Sunday morning. If you like, I made that mistake early on when I came over to you guys. Is I was 9:30, sometimes 10 o'clock sleeping in on a Sunday morning, and then I go to bed 9 o'clock Sunday night, wide awake for 2 hours because I slept in too long.
Can't do it.
No.
So Fred will not be with us today. Getting Is he getting a 3-day weekend anyway?
Technically. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, he's, pooping his brains out this morning. I mean,
we don't
doesn't count,
No, I don't imagine he's going to be enjoying his quote-unquote day off today due to illness. So instead, Bert Breer will be here as he normally is at 7 o'clock on a Friday, but he's going to stay with us for the 8 o'clock hour.
And getting back to your original point, you have to check and see.
Is he capable of having fun?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
This is a vote in Bert's favor. I say yes, he can, and I understand a couple of things that
is
you
he
guys have
capable
planned.
of non-football related fun?
There have been many times over the years that Bert has volunteered and asked to stay later, a segment or two, based on what was coming after his time was over. So I think that he can enjoy it. Now, the question is, can he participate in it? He's volunteered to stay late to kind of see what the show is doing and react to it, but placing him in a situation where he is forced to be a part of it, I don't know the answer to that.
Well, one thing we have it's not like a game, it's not like, a massive hijinks, but one conversation we plan on having in the 8 o'clock hour is somewhat football related, and that is the Greg Bedard, Mark Bertrand debate that spilled over onto the airwaves. I guess a couple of days ago, initially with just Bertrand just letting it all out, and then Bedard impressively saying, "Yeah, I'll go on the show," even though I don't know how he requested to come on. If he contacted the show directly, maybe went through the management or something. Whatever. The fact is, the two of them sat down yesterday on the air. I had people text me about that, like, because have you heard Beetle at any point the day before, even before Bedard got here yesterday? I had a friend text me and said, "Does Bedard know what he's walking into?"
I know. We had a chance to see Beetle before Bedard got here, and he was very much looking forward to that opportunity.
Well, yeah, I'm like, oh, Greg knows Beetle. Yeah, they did pre and post together. It's like, yeah, he knows. He knows what he's dealing with. So credit to both of them for having it out. So that's somewhat football related, and that we'll get into that with Bert a little bit later. But I honestly don't know what else he enjoys other than football. And I guess to that point, I don't know anyone who likes anything more than Bert likes covering the NFL and college.
Fair.
Seriously, do you?
No.
Do you?
He will.
Is there one person in your life who has either a vocation or a hobby or anything that is as into it as Bert is into football?
No. I've seen him take days off from covering football to go watch college football. Like, there isn't a big Ohio State game that he has physically missed. He will travel on days that he is not covering the NFL to go watch his alma mater play college football.
Yeah. I mean, I think he likes to ski.
Yes.
I don't think he's opposed to travel. He's got a family and, loves his wife and kids and stuff. But in terms of things that we also enjoy, John, we know you're a foodie.
Yes.
We know that you enjoy preparing food.
Yes.
We know that you like to eat out.
Not as much as Bert, though.
We know that you like chicken fingers.
That's right.
And shrimp scampi.
That's right.
12 obviously is very much
John Cook shrimp scampi. Yeah.
Into his music and Renaissance fairs.
I haven't done the Ren Fair in a while, but I would.
Salvation Army. He left that out.
Bert's,
I enjoy golf.
Yeah.
Fred doesn't enjoy anything.
No.
So it's not like, oh, what else does Fred enjoy in addition to? Well, no, it's not in addition to anything. That's a big problem for Fred. And when he talks about that, he's not lying. I think he's got enough self-awareness to know that he needs something to do in his life, especially in our advancing years. You need to have something.
Yes.
Something to do, something to love, something to hope for, right?
Yes. He doesn't have
Well, he loves his family.
Yeah.
But in terms of the do and hope,
Yeah.
you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I think he hopes to have something to do
I remember Matt Siegel coming in here and sitting here and said, you moved to Florida and God help you if you don't have a tea time. What else am I going to do with myself?
Well, I know it. It's like, wow, that sounds great.
I know. Happy retirement. Yeah, it wasn't good.
So that's going to be an issue. But for Bert, I guess you could just continue to follow football even if you're not, being paid to do it.
Oh, the Ohio State people give him a job the second he leaves the job he has now.
An ambassador.
The second he stops covering the National Football League, there's going to be a phone call from Ryan Day.
Brand ambassador
we have an opening.
Ohio State.
He'll move to Columbus. He'll take the family to Columbus.
Yeah, honestly,
it's beautiful this time of year.
But that always like sounds strange to me when people say like, "Oh, I can't wait to retire. What do you want to do? I want to travel." Well, how much traveling are you going to do?
Right. And how much unlimited income do you have with no income coming in?
So that is a huge part of it. It's like, well, I'm going to go to Portugal, but I'm going to go for 3 months. How does one do that? You have to maintain a residence, back home somewhere. You're just going to sell your house and live on the lam for the rest of your life? Because, no. I'm not about 3 months, but I've always wanted to go to Australia. All right, say that's 3 weeks. Well, you can spend a little bit of time planning that, and then you can go, and then you can come back and bore everybody talking about it for another week or two afterward. But now you have 11 more months of the year to kill. Like to me, like a retirement plan of travel is not a great one. It doesn't fill up enough time, and it's way too expensive.
This is your specific skill set, being the massive wet blanket on society.
I want to travel.
There are some people that look at this much different than you do. Oh, this would be a great experience. Not you. Sir.
I'm not a wet blanket.
All of you people who want to do this suck. That is your opinion.
I think the meanest thing you could no. John,
it sounds like
that's not it.
Okay.
What I am, and this is a dirty word to some people, especially when you're talking about idealizing your post-work life, is I'm a realist. And I do it with everything now. So Marcy desperately wants to go to California and see the redwood trees. She wants to go to whatever forest has the redwood trees. Okay?
Why?
That's
Sequoia National Park.
Is that okay? Fine. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what I ask her. And this is what I ask her about anything that she wants to go do. Whether she wants to go, here for the weekend, you want to go to Newport. She doesn't love it, but she'll go to Nantucket occasionally with like girlfriends and stuff, and they'll have weekends and stuff. If it's ever posed to me, we should do this. Do you want to go there? My question to her is, what happens when we get there? You want to go to Newport? Fine. What happens when we get there? Well, there's the mansions, and I'm like, what about them? You look at them. Oh, is it there's a restaurant? We got restaurants here.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like, not to be like a total dick about it, but I want to know how we fill those 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And with the whole Sequoia National Forest redwood thing, I'm like, fine. Yes, darling, let's go do that. One question, what happens when we get there? Because something tells me you get there and then you look at the tree and then what?
It's very peaceful.
Then what?
It's very peaceful.
That's really
You look at the tree?
That's really what you
that's
do.
all you do.
Look at the tree, you walk around, you go, there's the tree.
We got
you can drive
trees.
your car underneath.
Not
you
like
can
that.
stick
You
your
don't
arms
Snout
around.
out the window and look at the backyard.
The
They're
redwoods
rotten
are
with them.
much bigger.
Yeah,
much bigger.
Oh, you look at big trees, so it takes
Yeah.
longer to look at them because
Exactly.
you got to walk around them.
I don't understand that part of it.
You marvel at them. That takes some time, too, to marvel at something.
And I think everybody should see the Grand Canyon. I think everyone should see the Rocky Mountains. I think there are things that you need to see in life to understand it. But we were talking about the Grand Canyon with Fred the other day. What happens when you get there? Unless you're going to hike down or camp or take a mule somewhere, you pretty much cover it in a couple hours.
Yeah.
That's there. I saw the Grand Canyon. Now what? Oh,
Is it something can you just stop at and drive by and keep going, the Grand Canyon? I've never been.
You can,
you got to get out.
But you got to get out and look, and you can hike down. We hiked down into it, but we were unfortunately there in the summertime, and they have all these signs up that say when you get to a certain point, you're like, if you do not have this much water and this equipment with you, do not go past this point. You will die, and we will not come and rescue you.
Yeah,
yes,
because you're in a canyon. That is so great. It is grand.
Right.
And it's very tough to get your body out of there. Mm-hmm. They leave it out like on the slopes of Everest. Like, no, that guy was an idiot. He didn't have warm enough gloves. And he ended up dying.
Whoops. Well, they talk about that now, how that's really what Mount Everest is now. It's just corpses everywhere.
With bodies.
Yeah.
I've read that too.
All over the place.
All these, yeah.
So I would go. I like California. I mean, there are any number of times.
Plenty things to do.
But you go there for like things like back in the day when radio was great. Hell, we were at BCN. I got flown out there for a movie junket to go, not to go see.
Which one was it?
And it wasn't to go see like some huge blockbuster. This is back when people were spending money on all kinds of stuff and spending it via radio. I was flown from Boston to LA for 3 days for parties, to be wined and dined, and to attend a gala premiere of Nacho Libre.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
you do love Jack Black. It's a fun movie.
It was fit. Yeah,
it's all right.
I was just going to say.
I don't know that I go back and watch it a second time.
All right.
Well,
I don't see a second viewing in my
the
future.
only thing I like better than watching a movie is watching a movie 9 times. So I've seen Nacho Libre several times, and I don't even enjoy it that much.
Yeah.
If you've seen it, there's no way to even really describe it. It's borderline problematic in 2026.
Yeah.
That Nacho Libre.
Mm-hmm.
But that was, I love LA. I got a lot of friends out there, and there's stuff to do. But if you want to go see a tree, I'm sorry, I got to put my hand in the air.
I've got, but you know what? I'm looking into this a little bit more, Hardy. It's the Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks, plural. And you've got the Sequoia National Forest and the Sierra National Forest.
Why are you defending this?
And would you look at this? All that natural beauty just minutes outside of Fresno, California.
The armpit of California.
Bakersfield, California. It's just a little further away. So I don't know, man. I think you could probably get a good 10 days out of this trip.
I'm pretty sure an ex-girlfriend food poisoned me on purpose in Bakersfield.
What? All right. Stop.
That's a blues
song. Can you do 30 seconds on this?
It was my ex-girlfriend from East Lansing. I left East Lansing to move to Albuquerque for a job.
Right.
And we broke up. We'd broken up a little before that. We'd kind of gotten back together, but I said, I'm taking this job, and that's it. We're done. All right. She moved to Bakersfield with a girlfriend of hers who had a job out there or something, whatever. After about a year or so of me living in Albuquerque, her living in Bakersfield, she invited me to Bakersfield. Fine. I go out there. And it's awful place. And we did a hike. And she brought along some sandwiches for us to eat on the hike. I ate a sandwich. We went back, to her apartment, got ready for dinner. As soon as we got to dinner, I did not feel right. And we went home from dinner. I spent the rest of the night with it coming out everywhere, right? And I'm pretty sure she poisoned my sandwich that she gave me during the hike because she was somehow not pleased with me with the way things had ended back in Lansing.
It's nefarious.
Interesting.
I'm not pretty sure. It has been something I have considered strongly over the last.
Wow.
And I haven't obsessed about it. It's only been about 30 years. So, but I think about it, every couple of days since 1997 when that happened.
That's like an SVU episode, man. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, that you don't really think about, and I can't think of anyone who's ever told me a story like that with such conviction. No. I mean, there have been guys.
John.
She was upset at me, but no, I don't think she's capable of that. No, you think she's capable of that.
Yeah.
In fact, you're pretty sure she's capable of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's a possibility. Well,
slop in your belly. Then you make hot brown rain.
that's right. So that's my lasting memory of Bakersfield. So no, not my favorite town.
Interesting.
All right, let's find out what happened last night, and we'll get into that next here on Toucher and Hardy.
Rangus.
Thank you.
you catch a game last night?
All right, it's Toucher and Hardy. Fred out sick today. So Wallach and I are here to bring you what happened last night, which is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. No Red Sox last night. One thing that I was planning on asking Tom Caron about, and we ran out of time because it was kind of an open-ended question anyway. I wasn't trying to get information out of him. It was really more of an opinion. But, John, we had talked about the fact that they just swept Kansas City, and they had come off a series win before that. They have 2 series coming up at home. They've got a 6-game homestand, 3 this weekend, and with Minnesota, and then 3 against Atlanta. Atlanta's a good team. How important is it if you believe that the Red Sox are doing anything right now? It's only 2 series, and it's a sweep of not a very good Kansas City team, but still, for a team that had been able to win a series, now the fact that they have swept a couple here this month against, again, very questionable teams, and the Tigers and the Royals.
Take what you can get.
How important is it for them to, at the very least, take 2 or 3 this weekend at Fenway from Minnesota? Only if you believe, and this is why I didn't ask Tom, because it's such a long-winded and roundabout way of getting to it. If you believe that they have turned any kind of a corner or building something, how important is this first series this weekend?
I think it's very important. I think it's very important because you have road series against the Yankees and Tampa Bay coming up. The Yankees will get Garrett Cole back tonight, and Tampa is one of the best teams in Major League Baseball. Yankees are far better than you, and you also have to go to Cleveland as well. The Guardians are better than you also. All of those series, that's 9 games against very tough opponents on the road. And you have Atlanta coming in, the toughest opponent, coming in for 3 games after this. You have a lot of tough teams to play in the next couple of weeks. You got to take care of a bad team when they come visit you. So my answer to that is they got to, if you have any hopes at all about getting back into the playoff picture and actually making people believe in you, you got to take at least 2 out of 3 this weekend.
All right. Well, who's going tonight?
Peyton Tolle is going tonight.
All right.
And he has pitched very well. Connolly Early was fighting it a little bit a couple of nights ago, but he fought his way through 6 1/3, gave up 3 runs, and held on long enough for them to win. The kids are pitching really well. The question is, can they hit? And they hit a little bit 2 nights ago. 4 runs is a offensive explosion considering the 7 they got the night before that. 11 runs in 2 games for this team. I don't know if they know what to do with themselves.
That eclipses what they had done in the previous 2 series combined.
So here we go. Let's see if they can keep it rolling. But yes, the answer to your question is these next 3 games are very important.
All right. Well, I'll be watching that this weekend. They did not play last night, as I said, but the Knicks and Cavaliers played last night.
Brunson sets a screen. Brunson gets Strus up near the top of the key. 5 to shoot. Crossover left hand. Kicks it to Hart. Left corner 3. Got another one. Josh Hart, the sniper of the night, 5 for 10 from downtown. He's got 24 points, and the Knicks lead by 16.
You know, you watch the game, and you're watching, James Harden out there, and you're thinking, I know the Pistons are still on the rise. And, they're a team that you kind of, the same way I looked at the Spurs, a year or 2 ago. Obviously, Cade Cunningham is not Wembanyama or anything like that, but it's a young team, and they're kind of coming into their own. I watched James Harden playing as good as he obviously can be at times. You see him playing in games like that, and you're thinking, how did this team win any series at all? And it's not Harden by himself, but the fact that he's just out there and he's doing Harden things during the game.
In game 1, the Knicks, when they were making their run and came all the way back, they made a point to isolate him over and over and over and over, and Cleveland could do nothing to stop it. Harden, as brilliant an offensive player as he is, and he's one of the better scorers of this generation, refuses to or can't play defense.
No.
So leaving him out there in a playoff game is a big problem. And the problem also is for Kenny Atkinson, the head coach of Cleveland, if you take him off the floor, that leaves Donovan Mitchell alone at the other end.
Which you can't do.
You can't do that in the playoffs.
But watching Harden still to this day, like either not play defense or when he does, it's almost like in a flailing type of way. You know, it's our word of the month here on Toucher and Hardy is performative. Yes. He seems to be like a performative defensive player where it's like, well, it looks like you're doing something, but you're really not.
No, and even when he was younger, he didn't.
Oh no,
couldn't play defense.
And the book on
now
him
he's in his mid-30s,
right?
So he's a little bit bigger. I don't know if you've noticed, James Harden a little rotund, not able to keep up with some other people.
Do you remember? Was it God? He's been on so many teams. It's when he, I think, first came east, like maybe 3 years ago.
Philadelphia.
It's probably longer than that, yeah. But when he got to Philadelphia, and the photos of him when he first got to Philadelphia, or right before he left when he first got there,
big fella.
I mean, the angles weren't great, and they weren't doing him any favors. But yeah, he was ginormous.
The best part is if you look at the official profile of him, whatever. I'm looking at the ESPN
What is he
profile.
listed at?
All right, if you had to guess, what do you think? And 12, you can play along too. Okay. What do you think he's listed as weight-wise?
Okay, well, first of all, height-wise, I don't even know. Is he 6'6"?
6'5". He's listed at 6'5".
All right, that was a pretty good guess.
Okay, so
I bet they list him at 6'5", 225.
Okay, I'm going to say the list. I'm going to give a little more. I'm going to say they list him at 6'5", 240.
He's listed at 220.
Sure he is.
That guy is 275 if he's a pound. That guy is 275. I'm not going any lower than 265.
50 lbs off that list.
Wow.
Huh?
He's listed at 220, according to ESPN.
That's funny.
And he's 36 years old. He's going to be 37 this summer.
Well, it doesn't matter if
I think I saw a stat where he scored at least 20 points in a playoff game for 6 different teams.
Yeah.
As I said, this is a guy who averaged 36 or 37 points a game while he was in Houston.
Yeah.
Clearly, one of the most brilliant scorers in NBA history.
Right.
A liability.
Not going to do much
Cleveland.
for you. Yeah, a liability, especially in the postseason, and you're going up against guys like Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson.
Brunson killing clock, defended by Mobley at midcourt, crossover to the foul line, ball fake, steps in the lane and hits a left-hand floater to put the icing on the cake in Game 2. Knicks by 18 with 1:20 to go.
Okay.
I had turned it off with about 3 minutes left.
Right. Cleveland in the first half doubled Jalen Brunson. Every time he got the ball over midcourt, they threw 2 guys at him, forcing him to pass. So what did Jalen Brunson do? He passed the ball. He had 14 assists last night, I think. He scored under 20 points. But the most important thing is he had 2 points in the first half. 2 in the first half. And Cleveland was still losing by 4. Cleveland tied it up. And then the Knicks scored 18 straight points in the third quarter and put the game away. As we suspected after that Game 1 collapse, this team has no chance. So the Knicks are going to sweep this series.
It seems foolish to predict how a series is going to go after Game 1. We've seen too many turnarounds and too many things. But going back to the Bruins' third period collapse in their opening round series, you remember that?
Yep.
And it was theorized, maybe by you, John, that maybe they had just lost this series in that third period collapse. Watching Cleveland collapse at the end of Game 1, you're like, oh, well, that's the series. You're not going to come back from that. It's done.
In theory, Cleveland has the weapons to stay with this team. They have 2 pretty good big guys. Evan Mobley was a defensive player of the year 2 seasons ago. Offensively, he broke out this year. He's an all-star caliber guy. Jared Allen, a very good low-post player. And that should match up with guys like Towns and Mitchell Robinson.
Right.
And they have scorers. Donovan Mitchell's a great scorer. James Harden, a Hall of Fame scorer. But you get these 2 teams out on the floor, and it's no contest.
It just does something to the psyche of a team. And unless you're, supremely talented and you've been there before, and you couldn't say that about this Bruins squad. And Cleveland has enough veteran talent to where it shouldn't matter. But when you blow a 22-point lead with 7:45 left in the fourth quarter and you allow any team to beat you, much less a team that has playoff Jalen Brunson playing for it.
Yeah.
Josh Hart last night, who was fantastic. How do you not think about that for every other game you're going to play in the rest of the series? And then, look, they won the first quarter last night. Good for them. Cleveland did.
But seriously,
not enough. You're not going to do it. You proved what can happen to you and what this Knicks team is. You allowed them to do to you in game one, and that's your series.
You blew game one. You played really good defense in game two in the first half. Go back to Jalen Brunson. Did nothing offensively in the first half. You're not going to keep a guy like that down, and you're still losing. I mean, if I'm Kenny Atkinson, I go back in the locker room and I say, what the hell can I do here? There's nothing I can do. The players, I can't change the players. I feel really bad for them. If Cleveland gets a game off the Knicks in this series, I will be impressed.
Yeah. Well, so there you go. The Knicks are now up 2-0 after that Game 2 win last night. We've got some Stanley Cup playoffs to get to and some NFL news. We'll cover that next here on Toucher and Hardy. Very cryptic message here from Albert Breer. In the start of the show, we were talking about, by the way, it's Toucher and Hardy here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Fred Toucher out sick today. So Bert Breer joining us at 7 a.m. as he does on Fridays. And he'll be sticking around for an extra hour today, which is great. But we were talking about if, Bert were on his way here or not. And so, well, he better be. He lives, out way down the South Shore. Bert sent a text to me, Wallach, and 12, and it is a screenshot of his Apple map with the little blue dot showing the direction he is facing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in between Marshfield and Plymouth, which I believe is where he lives, at 6:07 a.m. With no other text, no explanation. And it was around that time I said, well, you better be on his way here. He's down in Duxbury, You got to make it up to Waltham.
Right.
Well, at 6:07 a.m., I believe he was trying to tell us that he was in Duxbury.
Yeah.
Now, was he trying to tell us that he was on his way? Was he trying to say, no, I haven't left yet. Watch this.
All we know for sure is that he was awake.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. That's the only information you can
Might have
really
been in his
glean from that.
pajamas for all we know.
I think I know why he screenshotted this and he sent it.
Please.
I think so. If you look, there's nothing here. There's no red lines. There's no yellow lines. There's nothing to tell you that there's any traffic.
No, that's not a traffic map.
That's just
a map.
That's a location.
No, I thought this.
That's
it's
not
an
a
Apple map, so
traffic
it's
map.
going to show you the red lines if there's like traffic.
No,
on
you can
parts
pull
of the
up
map.
an Apple map and not have traffic patterns showing.
Hold on for a second. I'll do that right now.
No, Hardy's right about this, 12.
Where I am right now.
Now, God bless 12 for looking on the positive. Good for you, 12.
I'm looking at. So I just pulled up my Apple map and I'm zooming out to the Boston Metro and I'm seeing red and yellow lines.
Well,
so I think that's what Bert was doing. I think Bert was saying, "Hey, smooth sailing, fellas. I'll be there at 7."
No. I don't think that is.
All right, maybe that's what he was trying to convey.
I think it's a misguided attempt at that. I don't think that he actually achieved that. Anyway, in theory, he'll be here in 10 minutes.
Maybe the ploy and the plan was to get us talking about him. He's a master at it.
He really is.
And bravo, Albert. Bravo.
Bert, blast.
Thank you. Stanley Cup playoffs last night. Hurricanes, who, man, are they good in the conference finals. They have really made their mark as a team that can get there and not do a damn thing once they are there. It's wild. Now, they did score first last night, 33 seconds into the game, in game one against Montreal. They've been waiting around for a while. They haven't
11 days.
Have they lost in the postseason?
Nope.
So they've swept.
Yeah, swept the first 2 rounds. 8-0.
They got through Philadelphia, no problem, right? I've been waiting around for Montreal to finish up against Buffalo, the series that took forever. And they jump right out and say, hey, ain't no flies on us, no rust at all. 33 seconds into the game, they score. And then Montreal went to work.
Face-off win for Philip Deneau. We're going to be 4-on-4 here. 4 minutes into the first period. Here go the Habs. Breakaway moving in. Deneau shot, scores! And it's 2-1 Montreal. 4 minutes and 4 seconds into the first, a freebie breakaway for Philip Deneau.
That's right. That's after Montreal had scored the equalizer 27 seconds after the Carolina Hurricanes struck first. Montreal ties it up. 3 minutes later, it's the go-ahead goal. And suffice it to say, they would never look back. Let's just stay in the first period for funsies.
The Habs come out to center. Here's another breakaway. Davidoff moves in, scores! And the Montreal Canadiens are all over Carolina. Another breakaway goal, and it's 4-1.
After surrendering the first goal of the conference finals 30 seconds into the game, Montreal goes on to score 3 more in the first half of the first period, 4-1 after 1. Eric Robinson would score for Carolina in the second to make it, that ever-scary 2-goal lead. 2-goal lead for Montreal. It wouldn't be a problem.
Habs through center. Here's Slavkovsky through the middle. Makes a move. Scores! Yuri Slavkovsky puts on the moves, opens up the space, and it's 5-2 Montreal.
Slavkovsky would add the empty netter at the end of the game for a 6-2 Montreal win.
That's too bad.
You can't give you guys a statistic?
Oh, yeah. Let's hear it. 12.
Some stats.
Yeah.
So this is the Carolina Hurricanes' fifth trip to the conference finals since 2009.
Yeah.
Their record is 1-17.
Yeah.
They were swept in 2009, swept in 2019, swept in 2023. They did avoid the sweep last year. They won game 4 and avoided the sweep. Lost game 5 in last year's conference final. So, yes, a 1-17 record.
Gentleman's sweep.
Yeah.
Gentleman's sweep, yes.
There's a video of Rod Brindamore standing on the bench near the end of the first period. Just it's deer in the headlights. He's been around for a lot of these. And I don't know what you do. You could chalk it up to rust, because any team that's stuck waiting around for a week and a half, you're going to have rust. But looking at the empirical data, you'd say, oh, we're right back to where we started. Doesn't matter if we have rust or, whether we're in rhythm. We still lose.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And like you said, John, he's been around for enough of these to know, okay.
Here we go again. And I'm powerless to stop it.
You jump out, you grab a super early lead, and then you give it all back and then some, and you're down 3 goals after the first period. He knew what was going to happen.
Well, Frederick Anderson is his goaltender. He's been around for enough of that Toronto stink. The Toronto stink is all over this team.
Yeah. One more thing that we'll get to here, and I wish I knew more about Kyle Busch and racing, just in order to properly eulogize him. But Kyle Busch died yesterday at the age of 41. Apparently, he was in a simulator at the Chevy simulation grounds somewhere in North Carolina, and became unresponsive while he was, practicing. Which was what I guess stock car racers do. You get in simulators and you practice, you work on stuff. This is not long after he had radioed this during his last race.
Kyle Busch has been suffering from a sinus cold all week. Lost 5 spots on that pit stop. He has asked to have medical attention available after the race. Here's his radio.
And can somebody try to find Bill Heisel, the doctor guy? Tell him I need him after the race, please. Hey, do you want Mr. Bill at your car and at your bus after the race? Bus. I'm going to need a shot. Copy. He'll be at your bus.
So he was ill. He was racing anyway. He was still working, obviously, up until yesterday, and he was getting ready to compete in the Coca-Cola 600, Charlotte Motor Speedway, this weekend, and instead passed away yesterday at the age of 41. No cause of death has been released.
I don't know anything about NASCAR, so I had to talk to a buddy of mine who does, and he said, while this isn't Dale Earnhardt Jr. levels of fame, this is significant. Apparently, according to this guy, he's one of the best 15 drivers in NASCAR history.
Yeah.
Died at the age of 41.
Well, so we will get to some of the other news around the NFL, as there are a couple of deals to be talked about, and all things regarding the beloved sport of football of one Albert Breer when he joins us next here on a Fredless Friday here on Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
champion Boston
All the way
Celtics.
3, and he hits.
WBZ-FM and HD Boston 98.5. The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox had last night off. They'll try to set a new season high tonight when they chase after a fourth straight win. They're going to be at home to play Minnesota. This is also the opener of a 3-game weekend series at Fenway Park, and Peyton Tolley will start. Also, the Sox have reportedly called up 35-year-old reliever Tayron Guerrero from Worcester and sent down pitcher Zach Kelly. There's some Bruins news as well. They have reportedly decided not to bring back assistant coach Jay Leach. His contract was set to expire. At the NHL playoffs, Montreal ran over Carolina 6-2 in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Las Vegas goes to Colorado again tonight for Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals, up 1-0. At Madison Square Garden last night, the Knicks beat Cleveland 109-93. They lead the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals 2-0. Oklahoma City visits San Antonio tonight with the West even at a game apiece. The LA Rams yesterday signed quarterback Matthew Stafford to a 1-year contract extension, and one of the better NASCAR drivers in history, Kyle Busch, passed away yesterday. He was 41 years old. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Rodenheiser Home Services, now serving the South Shore and surrounding communities. Heating, AC, plumbing, electrical, remodel, and architecture, Rodenheiser has you covered. Local and family-owned, trusted since 1928. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
This is what happens when analysts take over the games, take over the sport.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub. When it comes to the show, Hardy thinks the same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy without Fred this morning. But Albert Breer is here because it's Friday at 7 a.m., and that's what Bert does. Thank you for being here, Bert.
On time again. I do want to inform you guys. That
I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Bert is the lead content strategist for somebody.
Oh, sorry. I didn't give you the read on that.
All right.
Why don't you do it, 12?
By now. Well, Bert Breer is the lead content strategist at MMQB, which is a subsidiary of Sports Illustrated.
I know. I almost said SI.com, but that's not right.
No.
All right. Thank you,
I
Bert.
mean, we are on
You're big shot.
So
You're
yeah.
big shot. Big shot.
Yeah.
Out of
That
all
was
the
the title that came up. Like, it's been 10 years now that I've been there. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
lead content strategist?
Yes. Yeah. Lead content strategist and senior NFL writer.
Stabbed Peter King in the back, and here you are. Good for you.
You're a big.
It's like, it doesn't, like, some of it doesn't even really apply anymore, but yeah. that was the title they gave me no. I was a senior writer when I got there, and then when Peter left, they gave me the second title, which was part of all of that, like, where it was like, okay, like, we're going to announce you as taking over for Peter. So, yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah.
You're a big deal. Out of all the people that we talk to and have a relationship with and feature regularly on the show, Bert, he's right up there. I was like, wow, you guys talk to Bert Breer. I'm like, you know what? I do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I even have personal conversations with him. It's no big. No
We
big
just
whoop.
had one.
No big whoop. Well, Bert was concerned about Fred. I think that was the genesis of your question when you asked, what was it, Bert? Is Fred really sick?
Yes.
No, I asked.
Sat down. First question.
I asked if he was okay because I was concerned.
No, that wasn't it. I think Hardy got it right.
It is.
I can't show some concern for
No.
Fred.
Oh, no. Hey, you can show any concern you want.
I'm thinking about you, Fred. I can't speak for Wallach or Hardy here.
No,
but I'm thinking about
Listen,
you.
I have no doubt that he is sick, just because why else?
And then we discussed
would he be up at 4:00 in the morning texting? I mean,
and then we discussed like the second move that could be involved here.
Okay, so this would be diabolical.
Really? All right. I want to hear this.
This would be a great move if he turned it into a 4-day weekend.
Okay.
If this was the setup, I actually once. So This
Spin
did
that
not
mic.
end. This did not end well for me.
Spin that mic a little closer. There you go. Thank
This
you.
did not end well for me. But I once spent my first job out of college was with the Asbury Park Press in New Jersey.
We all remember.
And I was I was lowest of the low there, just starting out. And so, Ohio State was playing in the national championship game, maybe like 2 months into me getting that job. And I had all my friends were going to Arizona for the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember that was the game, Ohio State, Miami. Miami was loaded. If you look at that roster, one of the best college rosters of all time, Ohio State upsets them. So I thought, I can't, 2 months into this job, ask to, take a weekend off and go.
Mm-hmm. Even though I'm sure you were making a lot of money at the Asbury Park Press.
I think it was $24,000.
Okay.
I think it was my number.
Nice.
So
it's not bad, actually.
So
what year?
I thought it was great back then.
What year?
This would have been fall of 2002 going into 2003.
Oh, okay. Not great.
Yeah.
All right. No, but still.
Bottom of the totem pole. It's what you do, or did at least back then. So I basically said, look to my boss, I was like, look, I'm not going to go with my friends out there, but I would love to be able to just watch the game that night instead,
Yeah.
because it's a night job.
Instead of doing what would have your duties have been?
Would have been to basically edit copy. The people send the stories in, I edit them and, all of that stuff. So
punch it up.
Yeah. It's again, a bottom of the totem pole story. People would, at that paper, it could be a high school story, it could be a college story, it could be Giants, Jets, Eagles, whatever comes in. I'm helping to edit it. So, I about a month out, I was like, look, I understand I'm new here, so I'm not gonna go with all my friends to Arizona for the game, but
Right.
I would love to just have if I could that one night off. It was like a random Monday night in January to watch the game. Didn't think it'd be a big deal, and he said no. So I spent the week leading up to the game.
Oh no!
Playing sick.
The long con.
And acting as if I was getting sick.
You're 22. You think you were an evil genius. Sure, this will fool him, right? Yeah.
And then the morning of the game, I
banged out.
Yeah, I called when I knew somebody friendly would be in there, and I was like, look, I can come in if you want me to, but I don't know, I don't want to give anybody else something, you know.
Nice.
And so
did they call you out on it afterward?
I got fired for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you really?
I've told that story publicly maybe once or twice, but that was So it was a lesson for me, and I definitely learned my lesson from it. But yeah.
When did they fire you? The following Monday?
The next day.
What did they say?
I just I came in and look, it was again, it was a blessing because it wound up pushing me back here, and when I came back here, then really my career got started. But I came back and I came to work for the Metro West Daily News, which was where I owe that place a ton. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That place was really where I learned to do a lot of different parts of the job, and that job that I was in New Jersey, I was going to leave it anyway, but yeah, it was it was the next day. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So
oh, boy.
What did you end up doing with that day off? So
Watch
you
the
did you would go into work at what time? 4 o'clock or something?
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you do?
I drank my face off and watched the game.
By yourself?
No, with my buddy. I was living with one of my fraternity brothers from Ohio State who was working in commodities in the city. And so, yeah, he and I, lived together. And we
the two of you just sat there on the couch and watched the game on TV.
Our other buddy who lived in another part of New Jersey came in, and there were 3 of us, and we partied and watched the game, and they won the national title.
They partied.
It was honest.
Quite the soiree.
You had three 4 sixes.
Yeah,
you sat down and went at it.
Drinking Busch Light Draft and watching network television.
You put it that way. Come on.
But But I mean, all right. So like, I am now 24 years out of how many years am I out of college? Yeah, I'll be like this summer. I'll have like been out 24 years, and Ohio State's won 3 national titles since I've been out. I mean, it was worth it.
Okay.
I mean,
okay. This is where I have to ask, because we brought this up briefly during the first segment of the show. When you are done writing, when you are finished with your current job, will you work for Ohio State in an ambassador role? Will they call you and say, you know what, we need a GM for our football program, Bert. We want you here.
That's not.
I don't know if I'd be
that's
qualified for that. I don't know if I'd be qualified for that. But I mean, I'm involved in stuff there now.
I'm aware of this.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is, after this whole writing thing is done and you're nowhere close to the end, can you see yourself doing that?
They've asked me to be on the board of directors for the Alumni Association and stuff like that. Like I've been involved in stuff at the school, and I always try to give back. The stuff I do there, though, like a lot of the stuff if I can advise them on stuff, I will. And if I can help them with anything, I will. What I do the most for is like the journalism school there, like where I will go back and I'll speak like any kid who went to school there, like who was in the position I would 100% will help.
Sure.
Them, so, I mean, that place, like, I couldn't have gone to a place that was more perfect for what I was going to do for a living. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, I mean, I try to help out in any way I can, for sure.
Professor Breer.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
I mean, it did, like, I will say this, like, the experience of going through, like, what I did there, I had I think anybody who knows me knows, like, it gave me a valuable lesson. I have no problem working all hours, working weekends, working nights, whatever. Like, I would never, not sacrifice to make it. You know what I mean? Like, so, but it was an interesting experience for sure.
Unless there was a football game on TV that I really wanted to watch.
Here's how you hide your alcohol entering the building.
Except for that one time that got you fired.
Here are the places you drink. Here are the places.
Easy with the word never is all I'm saying.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing is, though.
Except for when you did.
I mean, don't you think it's a little unreasonable that they wouldn't give me that one night off?
I think it's a little unreasonable that you couldn't just watch the game out of the corner of your eye while you were sitting there editing copy.
Bert, I think it's unreasonable. I'll back you on this. Early in my radio career, when I was working weekends at WFNX, I asked the program director. So I had a regular Saturday shift. I was kind of like Saturday middays and Sunday afternoons, and then I filled in here and there as well. I asked my program director. I said, "Hey, we're having a surprise 25th wedding anniversary from my parents this weekend, and I need the Saturday to set up at Saturday night." I didn't even ask for the day off. Right. I said, "Can I just work 6 to 10 in the morning so that I have the midday?" And not only did he say no, he sent me this like 3-paragraph long screed about like how disrespectful it was for me as a part-timer to ask for time off and blah, 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 blah. And that was like, I hate that guy.
Who was the PD?
I'd rather not say. Well, you know what I'll say? His name was Cruz. He was here for like a couple of years, and he was just like whatever. He came into town and he left town like a lot of those FNX PDs did. But like it was such a, like, to your point, like, yes, are we young and getting our start, and is it incumbent upon us to show up and hustle every day to prove our worth? Absolutely, starting out in the media. But you can still be a human being, and you can, give a newbie a day off here and there when they need something.
My school was playing for like the national championship in football, which I thought was like a reason, especially when I'm working in a sports department, I thought was like a reasonable ask for like one night off to do that. But I mean, honestly, like the whole thing worked out.
How embarrassing was it when they fired you the next day?
I felt like crap, but like, there were valuable lessons I took from that. I actually wound up like that spring before I came back here. I wound up taking the LSAT, and like I was really thinking about law school anyway, and so like there were, some moving parts where, I was trying to figure a bunch of stuff out.
I have a question. You got fired at Asbury Park, and you came back here immediately afterwards because you couldn't afford your rent. You had to move out.
No,
correct?
I stayed there.
I'm just wondering what the conversation was like, because you must have had to move back in with your parents for a period of time.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I never did. No, I stayed in New Jersey, and I stayed in New Jersey until September of that year. So I was there till like September 1st when our lease was up, because I wanted to like live out my lease with my buddy too. And so then I had kind of lined it up where, all right, like when the high school season starts, like then I'm going to help cover high schools at Metro West. And I came in, and Craig Larson, who was like, really a great editor. So it's actually interesting. So Craig Larson was the sports editor at the Metro West Daily News. Do you guys know who the deputy sports editor was, number 2?
No.
It was Mike Reese.
Oh, interesting.
And so Mike Reese was the Patriots beat writer, but also the deputy sports editor at the Metro West Daily News. So I came back there, and they didn't have any full-time jobs, but I could work so much that I could make as much as somebody who was full-time, which still wasn't very much.
Right.
But like they said to me, like, we will, because I had worked there over summers and stuff like that. And they were like, we'll give you enough work, and then, you'll be considered for the next time a full-time job comes open, which wound up being the following April. And so, so all of that wound up working out. And then Reese left, so April 04, I got hired full-time there, and then Reese left like summer of 05, and that's when I got the Patriots beat.
What I'm more concerned about for you, Bert, is, and you can continue to write for, as long as you want, right? I'm sure you could, and you probably will for a long, long time. But at some point, you should decide, you know what? I'm tired of being on deadline. I'm tired of having, this stuff. Maybe at some point I'm like, I'm just not as passionate about this anymore.
Yeah.
What else do you like other than football? Because this is what I said about you earlier. I don't know if I know anybody who likes anything in their life as much as you like
I
football.
coach my kids' team too, all of that.
Now you love your family and you ski, but it's like, what would you
love skiing?
Okay,
like
but you can't do that year round.
Like I love skiing like you love golf.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like you guys know my mom's Austrian.
Yep.
Like skiing in Austria is like football here.
Sure enough.
So I have been on skis since I was 2 years old. If I could ever be like a ski bum for an entire winter and like go either through like the Alps in Europe or go through the American West and go to that would be a dream come true.
Do you have any other interests though? Or it's like
I'm interested in a lot of things. What do you mean?
Do you read a book every now and then? Yeah. Not related to football?
Yeah, like I love like documentaries and stuff like this. This is going to be all about me now.
No. Well, yeah, it's the Bert Breer hour. Okay, so you'd be able to like fill your days as a semi-retired person.
Oh yeah, like so here's an example. All right. So like last year when I'm on my training camp trip, sometimes I'll be like, okay, like is there something that I can watch that like, maybe I wouldn't take the time, I wouldn't have the chance to watch at home. So like last year during training camp, I like devoured like 3 World War II documentaries. So there you go.
You're going to make a good old man. Okay. You'll be fine. All right.
Because that's because my family history too with that particular war. But like, yeah, I mean, I it's not just football. I love football. You guys know that.
That makes you very unique, though. That to have a family that somehow had an involvement in World War II. It was only the greatest global conflict in history.
I mean, I have
that's interesting.
I have wet blanket. I swear to
not
God,
a wet
you're
blanket.
so terrible.
You know what I'm doing? I'm channeling Fred.
You
That's
are
exactly,
so awful.
That's exactly what Fred would
Bert,
say. Oh wow!
Don't listen to him.
How about this?
He's being an ass.
My mother was born into Nazi-occupied Vienna.
Do you feel no need to explain yourself to this guy?
So my mom was born into Nazi-occupied Vienna, and when she was a little girl, Vienna was split up into 4, like I guess you call it quartiles, whatever they called them back then. And so when she was younger, it was like the Allies controlled Vienna.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Soviets controlled the part of Vienna that she was in. And so she was a Russian. She knows 6 languages. She was a Russian major in college. And the fact that she knew both Russian and English was a very powerful thing there. That's how she wound up in the U.S. because she was working for the UN. And so, like, my family history in World War II is very deep. I had people in both sides of it, all of that.
How many languages do you speak?
One.
Okay.
I
All right,
understand German, but I can't speak it.
Let us speak the language that Bert loves best, and that's the language of football. We will do that. We got some contracts to talk about. Latest on A.J. Brown, what we heard from our friend in Philadelphia yesterday. We'll get to all that next here on Toucher and Hardy.
More touch.
All right, it's Toucher and Hardy here on 98.5 Sports Hub. Bert Breer is here, and Matthew Stafford will be in L.A. beyond this final year of his contract as he has signed an extension worth a lot of money, Bert. Now, Stafford, I always thought of as being like close to 40. I'm like, oh, my God, he's going to be over 40 by the time this thing is done. It's actually not. I think unless they make it to the Super Bowl at the end of the second year, he will still be 39. I think he just turned 38.
He was so young. Well, he was so young when he came into the league, too. I think he had just turned 21 when the Lions drafted him.
Yeah. So age-wise, he's obviously at the end of, his career playing days. But how do you feel about this deal for the Rams, and what do you make of
I think
the massive 1-year extension, because it's a lot of money?
I mean, clearly, like, Stafford is somebody who I would say knows his worth and has, like, been pretty consistent and, like, I'm going to get my worth while I'm still playing, and that makes sense, right? Like, I think with the salary cap being what it is, I'm not sure anybody should be taking home down discounts now. It's like it becomes like, why are you asking me to do this? The salary cap is over $300 million. You see guys in other sports, like, and if you want to compare it to like what the best basketball players are making, like, I don't think
it's tough though. I mean, I know what you're saying in terms of the value that you provide, but the number of players on the roster, the number of things that you need around you as opposed to basketball, it's messy when you start mixing apples and oranges.
Right. But I think the quarterbacks are quarterbacks, right? Like the value of quarterbacks, the value of quarterback. I don't think this necessarily means he's playing in 27. It just, he's giving the year of control back to the Rams. He obviously wants to play there. And like setting it up so if he does get there, like, he will be well compensated to play again in 2027. Now, like, they've also set themselves up in a way where they could take a big swing if they want to. And that was the side benefit of the Ty Simpson deal that people are not paying attention to, is if you go and take care of the quarterback position now, and now they've got a scenario where we don't have to worry about re-signing Matthew Stafford, and we don't need to worry about replacing Matthew Stafford because we have that guy in our roster already. We have more freedom to do what we want with future picks. And so with this team they have now, this built to win right now, if there is a big swing available to them next week, next month, before the trade deadline, they can take that swing.
Is that A.J. Brown?
No, I don't think so.
Is there now?
Because they had that they were down the line on that.
Yeah,
they were down the line on that, and I don't think so. I mean, look, I think if the Rams were going to do that, they would have done it in March. I think the Eagles would have preferred to trade him out of the conference, and it would have been tough for the Eagles to trade him to the Rams anyway. But, like, that's where the idea of a first-round pick way down the line came from in the first place. Like, they were talking about a 2028 one back in March before the 26th draft, which now that's 3 drafts ahead of time. So they had talked creatively about doing something. The Rams had 2 issues, I think. Number 1 was the knee. Number 2 was, okay, like, can we offload Devontae Adams? And, like, the second piece of that, the offloading of Devontae Adams, like, were they going to be able to bring back some value for Adams if they're giving up some value to get Brown? That's where it got tricky.
There have been rumors, and we were just talking about this off the air, aggregators have put this into play that other teams may join the Patriots in their pursuit of A.J. Brown come next week. Is there any other team that can make a trade or wants to make a trade for A.J. Brown other than the Patriots?
I mean, I don't see the Chiefs doing it, but the Chiefs are at least interesting. Now, I'll tell you why they would do it and why they wouldn't do it, okay? The reason the Chiefs would do it now is because of the Rashee Rice situation. And I've said this to you guys for 2 months, that, well, why wouldn't the Eagles and Patriots just come to an agreement in principle and announce it? The reason why is because Howie Roseman is boxed into making this trade after June 1st for cap purposes, right? If you're Howie, why don't you use this to your advantage? Why wouldn't you? And how do you use it to your advantage? Well, you use it to your advantage in saying, well, on April 1st, maybe there's only one suitor. But then teams are going to draft. Teams are going to go into May. They're going to go into OTAs. They're going to go into minicamp. There are going to be injuries. There are going to be different developments. Maybe this team doesn't like its receiver room as much as they thought they would. When they were putting the roster together back in March and April. And things can develop and change.
Okay.
So in Kansas City, things have changed because Rashee Rice now, a guy who they already couldn't really trust,
right,
has shown further like you cannot trust him. And so the reason the Chiefs would do it is they could be saying to themselves, here's Rashee Rice going into a contract year, and my God, we can't pay him. Like we were planning on paying him $25, $30, $35 million a year, whatever that number is, and now we can't do that anymore. So we've freed up this money. Where are we going to put this money? Maybe that money goes to A.J. Brown. On the flip side, they're in a different position than the Patriots are. The Patriots have a quarterback on a rookie contract. They do not. And that not only makes it tighter financially, it also means that you need draft picks to fill out your roster because that's where your cheap labor is going to come from, right? So they trade Trent McDuffie so they can kind of keep their war chest of draft picks rich. And the reason you do that is because you've got big numbers at the top of your salary cap with what Mahomes is making and with what, Chris Jones, at least for now, is making, what Travis Kelce's made. And as they continue to pay some of their younger guys, like they paid George Karlaftis, they paid Creed Humphrey, they paid Trey Smith. Like they're top heavy, so you need the draft picks to fill out the rest of your roster.
The Rashee Rice story is,
just a world class idiot.
I don't know if you heard Felger yesterday on this.
But all you got to do is not smoke. Just don't smoke. Right. You're not hooked on an opiate where you have to go through some sort of withdrawal. The people who just can't stop smoking, I wonder about you guys. You freaking wastoids, stone pieces. Just put the pipe down for a couple days. Can you do it?
Buzzheads, wastoids, stone pieces.
I think
Maxi Zoom dweebies. They think he's a righteous dude.
Well, the mistake people are making too, is I don't know that this isn't a violation of the personal conduct policy, just because. So it's true that they don't suspend people for weed anymore, which I think is the right thing, right? But this is different than that. In that, you are already on probation for something freaking horrible.
Yeah.
And you violated your probation. So this isn't about smoking weed. This is about violating your probation, right?
Yeah.
And so for the Chiefs, for the league, this could mean, all right, well, we already suspended him once. He violated his probation. He's made the league look bad again. I think they definitely would have the leeway to suspend him again. And then for the Chiefs, again, this is more than just what's going to happen with him this year. With Rashee Rice going into a contract year, it's can we give him a big contract? Can we trust him? And I think right now the answer is no, to the point where I think they probably handle him like Dallas handled George Pickens, where George Pickens, he had a good year, let's tag him.
Yeah.
Right? That's what Dallas was doing. That's what Dallas is doing right now. People have mixed that thing. Dallas is not paying George Pickens because it's, all right, you straightened up and flew right for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now let's see if you can do it again.
Right.
And
it's a holding pattern.
And so if you're the Chiefs with Rice now, if say he gets suspended for 2 games at the beginning of the year and then he has a great year, right?
Yeah.
Are you paying him yet? Probably not.
No.
You're probably going to tag him.
Not after.
You'll probably tag him and just say, okay, here's a good chunk of money. Let's see if he can do it again.
Yeah. Okay. Now, one more thing on Stafford. I thought it was interesting when you said he's under contract for this year. This extension is for the following year, but remains to be seen whether or not he actually plays that year. What would prevent him from playing in the 27 season, other than the obvious things like injury?
Yeah, you follow the Lions pretty closely, right? he is taking a beating over the course of his career, and like, I mean, and it is like as existential stuff like back injury, elbow injury. Like he has had a lot of damage. And so like one thing I really respect about Stafford is he doesn't complain. Like this isn't one of those guys where you hear about it.
Yep.
Like, you don't hear about like he had like an elbow ligament that was messed up or like a disc that was like, you don't hear it. And that's why there's been like a lot of mystery around like a lot of those injuries where he's missed time. But I mean, this is a guy who's been really, really, really beat up. And, I think for a lot of these guys, it just kind of gets to the point where it's like, it's not, can I do it on Sunday? It's like, do I really want to do everything from like January at the end of the year to July to get myself ready for training camp and then put myself through training camp? I think that's what it would be for him.
It wouldn't be a catastrophic in-season injury as much as this has finally built up and taken its toll to the point where I can't stomach the idea of doing all the stuff to get ready to go do this again. It's just
and put myself through the car crashes of the season. Yeah, like
Gotcha.
I personally think that's what it would be with Stafford, because I mean anybody who's been around him would tell you like he's a warrior, and he's been through a lot, and so like I think there's that element of it where I think he's one of these guys who's like in a year-to-year situation, and I think it becomes a little bit like Rodgers. And I do think the interesting thing about that is a lot of times, like we've seen this recently, I think it happened with Brady too, where these guys get close to the end and they think they want to give, and then, it gets to be decision time. It's like, oh, I don't want to give it up yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's, I think, sort of what's probably going on in his head.
All right. Well, let's talk a little more A.J. Brown. John Marks from the Fanatic in Philly was on with this yesterday and was almost too overflowing in his praise.
Effusive.
For A.J. Brown. Yeah, it bothered me how much you liked that.
It bugged you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you forgotten who it is you're dealing with?
Wait a second.
Jeez.
So it's almost like he's working. It's like, yeah, it's great.
Maybe I have to go to Hudson this weekend.
Oh, look at that. A World War II tank demonstration. Have you ever seen the movie Tank with James Garner and C. Thomas Howell?
I have not, no.
Oh, you would love it, Bert, as a World War II buff. He gets a Sherman tank and he restores that thing, and then he busts his son out of jail. It's a terrible movie.
Only an hour and 20 minutes to go.
So we'll talk about the movie Tank with James Garner and C. Thomas Howell.
Full review.
We'll talk about A.J. Brown and anything else that we need to cover in the NFL next. Hold on.
true number one receiver. And when I look at the Patriots and what they need more talent. And this ups the level of talent on offense for Drake May this year.
That's John Marks from the Fanatic in Philly on with us yesterday saying, yep, he's A.J. Brown, true number one receiver. Obviously, the Patriots need the help at receiver.
Yep.
And I pressed him on a little bit. I'm like, well, okay, he's number one on the Patriots. A lot of guys be number one on the Patriots. Is he number one? He said top 10 guy in the league. Has, nothing but good things to say about him. And what, John?
Go ahead, finish. I had my hand up for after you were done with the windup.
The one thing he did, I guess, kind of admit is that, how many games would he actually play? Don't expect him there for all 17 was, the takeaway. But other than that, nothing to see here. He would give up whatever has been discussed. He would give up that and more if he were the Patriots in order to get A.J. Brown.
Yeah, so
is he working for the Eagles, this John Marks? And are they trying to dump him because there's something else that's really going on?
No, I mean, I think what's obvious is what's been out there and what we've talked about for a while now, which is the discord with the quarterback and where he is with Jalen Hurts. And I think as much as anything else, this is A.J. Brown's frustration with where he is in his career and his production. Look, all these guys are really competitive about their individual performance, almost as much as they are about team performance, sometimes more so than team performance. And all of these guys in this generation of players, they think about legacy. And they think about where I'm going to be in the history of the game when I walk away. And I think A.J. Brown is one of these guys who, looks at it and says, this guy cost me 300 or 400 yards last year because he didn't see me. And, it's interesting because when you talk to people who have watched A.J. Brown and who have broken down the tape and who have had to play against him, there's a interesting divide in that some of them say he's definitely lost a step. He looks like he's lumbering. It looks like it takes more effort for him to get open than before. And then there's another camp where he looks disinterested. And it looks like he's checked out. And it looks like the frustration with the quarterback has boiled over. So that's part of what you have to cut through when you're evaluating him because he's not the same player he was.
Based on what you know. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Continue. I've interrupted again. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
Based on what you know about the knee for A.J. Brown, and John Marks brought that up, how big a problem do you think it is? And does he have a specific skill set to change the way he is? You've talked about Larry Fitzgerald. He was an outside the numbers guy, but he was good enough that when he got older, he was able to move inside and still be effective. Can A.J. Brown do the same thing?
That's not what you're trading for, is the thing. And I think he can. I don't know if he's willing to. And a lot of this for these guys becomes about mentality. And there are very few true number one receivers that have a smooth transition to becoming a number two, a complementary weapon, whatever you want to call that. I think Steph Diggs was an interesting case because we had talked about that and how he was going to handle not being the primary guy when he came in. And I think the Patriots did a good job with him of threading the needle between, all right, maybe you aren't the number one guy, but there are going to be games where you are going to be the primary weapon and the most important person in our offense, and that was enough. And they also got Steph Diggs at a time where he come out of being in Houston where he was able to recognize, and this is people, I'm talked to people at the Texans about this, where in that receiver room he recognized, okay, Nico Collins is really good. And so, there's another guy over here. I can understand why I'm not the number one guy. That part of it is a really difficult thing for guys who are used to being the number one receiver. If you watch Terrell Owens and Randy Moss and some of those guys who were true number ones, those guys, after they weren't number ones anymore, had a real issue trying, where do I fit in now that I'm not the guy in the offense? Julio Jones, Andre Johnson, That's why I say, like, with a lot of these guys, especially the bigger guys, like the bigger, heavier guys, it's hard for them to reinvent themselves. So, do I think he'd be the Patriots number one? Yes. Do I think he's like a top 5 receiver anymore? No. I think he's fringe of the top 10, and he's obviously on the downside of his career. And the knee brings another element into it. So, like, I think that there's a lot to work through there. And, I think it's even important, like what your doctors say. Like, that to me is like a really important piece of this, because they're the ones that are going to have to say, like, okay, am I trading for a year of him? Am I trading for 2 years of him? Am I trading for 3? What am I trading for? And that's like, the Max Crosby situation sort of is analogous to that too. Because like with Max Crosby, look, the Ravens mishandled it. The Ravens should have gotten him on a plane. Like, you are going to get on a plane and come here right now if we're going to do this deal. We got to do this before the start of free agency. The Ravens mishandled that part of it, right? But if Max Crosby comes in and the doctor gets a closer look at the knee, and the doctor is suddenly like, I only think he's got a year left. You can't trade 2 first-round picks for him. I don't care how good he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like the thing that people fail to realize is like 2 first-round picks. That's 10 years of service, like at an affordable rate, of guys that you expect to be really good players, versus 1 year of service from Max Crosby.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way that people, because most fans are so focused on the here and the now.
Yeah.
If it's 1 year of A.J. Brown for, say, a first and a fifth, right? So, like, you're giving up then 5 years of cost-controlled service from what you expect to be a really good player, and then another swing on top of it,
Yeah. He did say, though, like the numbers that he was throwing out there, he's like, yeah, he comes in and it works with Drake. You're talking about a guy who can still give you 1,400 yards. How many touchdowns did he say, John?
He said 1,300 yards and double-digit touchdowns.
And, and we're trying to think the last time the Patriots had a wide receiver like that.
Randy Moss. It's Gronk and a bunch of so-called.
Yeah,
well, it's a bunch of guys who aren't wide receivers.
Look.
And he's not ready.
The idea the Patriots didn't have a number one for all of those years is not true.
No.
Gronk was number one.
Didn't say. I was just talking about a wide receiver that can put up numbers like that.
Edelman, you had Gronkowski, you had
Welker.
You had Amendola when he wasn't on the pay no mind list. You had guys who certainly did.
When you're talking about like a number one receiver, the effect of a number one receiver is a guy who dictates coverage, who pulls defense away from other players. And that's what Gronk was. Edelman wasn't really that. Like, Edelman was a really great player, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, Gronk was a guy who carried coverage. Gronk was a guy who affected your run game because of what a team has to do with their safeties to cover him. Gronk affected, like, everything. And that's what a number one receiver does. There aren't 32 that's the other misnomer. There aren't 32 number one receivers in the NFL.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
I mean, like at certain times, there aren't 8 of them. You know what I mean? Like the guys who are like truly that guy.
There aren't 32 starting quarterbacts either. I mean, this is just it's how the league works.
Yeah. The other thing I think is important here too, that I just mentioned this part of it because we're talking about like kind of the mentality and how hard it is for a guy to transition out of being number one. This isn't a bad guy at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a guy, he is beloved in that locker room, more so than Hurts.
That's what John Marks was saying.
I mean,
that was
Hurts,
the thing about Hurts, man. I mean, the stuff that he was saying, the best story was that how he carries himself a certain way, thinks of himself a certain way, and guys were satirically referring to him as Jordan. And he heard it, he goes, "Oh, there goes Jordan." And Jalen Hurts, not picking up on the fact that they were goofing on him, would say like, "Yeah, man, Jordan, I like that."
I mean, but there was like a little bit of like, I had somebody say this to me. It's like, at first like some of the other players thought, oh, he's just stoic. And then like later figured out, no, he kind of just can be an a-hole. You know what I mean?
Like, that's bad.
And like, and look, like there are guys that are great players that are that way. And I don't think Jalen Hurts is like a bad guy.
But he's not good enough to pull that off.
But he doesn't ingratiate himself to his teammates in the way AJ Brown was a very well liked teammate in Tennessee, which obviously Vrabel witnessed, and then I think has been a very good teammate. At least I think the people around you around him would say that. I think Devontae Smith would say that. I think Saquon Barkley would say that. Like, he's very well liked in that locker room, and so like that part of it again, like the mentality of being a number one, and some of the stuff spilling over with him reading the book on the side, all that stuff, like that doesn't mean like he was somebody that was like this pariah in the locker room. He wasn't that at all.
All right. Bert's going to stay with us here for the 8 o'clock hour. We have, I would say, football adjacent material to get to here. There's been the conversations going on back and forth about between us and the guys from Pardon My Take. Have you seen any of this?
I saw a little bit of it.
Okay. All right. Well, there's very little, but there's a little bit more. And then, of course, we have what happened yesterday on Zolak and Bertrand between Mark Bertrand and Greg Bedard. So we have that to get to here as Bert stays with us on a Fredless Friday here on Toucher and Hardy.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
It's never changed. It's never changed. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. It's just never good. It wasn't funny the first time.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
I want to check out something real quick here before we get into all this other stuff with Bert, who is gracious enough to stick around for another hour today here on Toucher and Hardy. Fred is out sick. Unless, as Bert theorized earlier. No, you didn't theorize, Bert. It was just it was batted around the room. I don't want to put this on you. We said this is not the classic banging in on a Friday of a 3-day weekend. Let's turn this into a 4-day weekend situation. That can't be the case because Fred is working on Monday. He's working on Memorial Day so that he can bank that as an extra vacation day later in the year. Until just out of the ether, it sprung up like
this is how my situation this is like what I was thinking about what I had done to set up my escape for the Ohio State-Miami game, which again, was lesson learned and
got you fired. Yes,
lesson learned. But you know what? Like, things worked out, and it was worth it because I watched my school win the national title.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was thinking of this being a potential setup, which is what you're getting to, Hardy.
Yes, and by the way, if you weren't listening earlier, Bert's first job out of college was in New Jersey. Ohio State was playing in the national championship game. His job was to go in at about 4 p.m, edit copy.
Until 1 a.m.
Yeah,
Yep.
He asked for the night off, the night of the game.
Way ahead of time.
They said no. So for a week, he feigned a growing illness, called in sick the morning of the game, stayed in his apartment with his friends. They, to use Bert's term, partied, the three of them, while they watched the game.
It's not fair. I mean, you lived in Vegas.
I was pretty messed up.
It's a little different. Your
Yeah.
partying definition's a little bit different when you live in Vegas.
Well, no. Hardy went to a school like mine. Like there's a pretty high bar to clear to use that word.
Yeah,
so.
but suffice it to say, he didn't go to work. He came to work the next day, and they fired him. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, somebody asked, I thought a great question over email, Bert, you're in charge of a department like that now, at this age. I'm not saying you are, but if you were, and somebody wanted to take the night off to watch their alma mater compete in the national championship game, when you really needed them on the desk, they have got stuff to do. This thing needs to get up on the website. Would you give them the night off?
Yes.
Okay.
How about that?
Yes. I again, it is a relatively rare thing that your school competes for that sort of championship. So,
I think it's more rare for a lot of other schools than yours.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, the other thing I just wanted to check on briefly here was the bidding for the We Need a Fourth. This is for the 15th Who's Your Caddy Classic that's taking place at Brook Meadow Country Club Monday, June 8th. All the spots sold out in a minute as they normally do, but there are two things that are still available. You can be the fourth in the group with me, Fred, and Wallach. You can bid on that, or you can be the fourth with Felger, Maz, and Big Jim. All right? And the bidding started on Wednesday. Bert, would you care to guess where the bids stand for those two items?
Wait, to play with.
So one spot available. You be the fourth with Felger, Maz, and Big Jim. There's another spot available to be the fourth in the group with me, Wallach, and Fred. All right? There are two separate things to bid on here. What are the current bids on those two items?
And where are you playing?
Brook Meadow Country Club. Special Olympics is, the proceeds go to them, so it's for a good cause. What do you think we're at?
$10,000 a piece.
10 grand is an excellent answer. Good for you. For one of them.
For one of them.
One of them has 10 grand. The other does not. Who's got the 10 grand?
So
You can be honest. I see you running this over in your head.
He's thinking to let him think, John.
All right.
I'm thinking about it because honestly, I know the popularity of this show because of the amount of people that like when they come and talk to me, like people I don't know come up to me. Like there's a lot of like I heard you on this show that I get.
Cedric Maxwell says the same thing.
Yeah, I mean a lot. So you know what? I'm going to be loyal to the show that I'm on. I'm going to say it's you guys. It is Felger and Maz.
Felger and Maz.
Oh, yeah.
Current bid $10,000 to be their fourth.
Are you at 5?
So now the second part of this exercise, what is the current bid to be the fourth? With me, Wallach, and Fred.
I'm trying to read your facial expressions now, and so like I'm going to say 5.
That's cute. Guess again.
3.
That's cute. Guess again.
2.
$2,030.
Oh, good. Now, it was only at like 1,100 yesterday.
It was at 1640 yesterday, so it's up another
All right.
Now
$400.
That's
over
interesting.
$2,000.
Now that's interesting because the second part of what I can tell you guys about what strangers come up to me and approach me with, yes, they ask me a lot about, me being on this show and everything else. And then the second question I get, the second thing I usually get from them is Felger really like that?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so.
I still to this, it used to be 3 or 4 people that we get asked about. Now it's only 3. It's Felger, it's Maz. I think people have decided what Fred is, so I really don't get asked about Fred.
Yes.
Fred is...
Well, because Fred is like, I think when you listen to Fred, and this is like 100% to his credit, when you listen to Fred, it seems very authentic.
Yes.
Like it's very believable that that's
it is.
who Fred is.
It is authentic.
You know what I mean? Like, it's very believable.
It's authentic,
Very authentic.
and it is a compliment. And you would take that as a compliment.
Right.
As would I. People want to know Felger, Maz, Zoe.
Right.
And they used to ask about Adolfo.
No, I still get Adolfo.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, I still get Adolfo.
And across the board, I say the only one, I'd say there's 2 of them who don't come across completely like they are in real life. And that would be Maz and Zoe. For Maz, I say, like, I know he's, abrasive.
Maz is like legitimately the nicest guy.
Abrasive and caustic, on the air can be. He is the nicest guy at the radio station. And I mean, anyone who meets him, hangs with him, says the same thing. Like, oh my God, what a sweetheart.
Right.
Zoe, I say, I know he sounds like a 10-year-old on the air. In real life, he's really more like a 6-year-old.
Yeah, it's worse.
He's on his best behavior on the air.
Right. This
So
is
it's
the
not
smoothed-out Zoe
not authentic.
When he gets here.
Yeah, you're getting like a heightened, mature version of Zoe on the air.
All right, real quick about the bid. What'd you say,
$2,030.
Now, there's a little bit of another part of this, Bert, that Fred talked about on the air yesterday. He said that, he would have a problem if the bid went over $5,000 because he'd be uncomfortable with that. He would think there would be more required of him.
The expectation.
So if it gets over $5,000, Fred's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, we don't want that. We're not campaigning. We want as much money for Special Olympics as possible within reason.
Right.
Without creating.
We don't want to go too high.
Since we're talking about all this, can we just do the rest of the liner just to check the box for this morning and tell people to go to 985thesports.com/golf for details. Again, proceeds are benefiting Special Olympics Massachusetts for the Hoosier Caddy Classic. Thanks to our friends at Catches Law, the Boston Bruins Foundation, the Patriots, Celtics, and Red Sox, Bernardi Auto Group, FootJoy, Yale Appliance, Pin Golfers, Golfers Warehouse, and Snell Golf Plus.
12, you are amazing.
So
that's great.
I got to do it.
Let me ask you this, though, because I think this is an interesting piece of it, too.
Yeah.
Can you guys tell, like, if it was on the Felger and Maz bid, was it bid up to that, or did somebody just plunk down 10?
No,
Did it go 6, 7, 8?
There's multiple people bidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because that is actually...
Because I asked Felger, I'm like, make me feel better. Is this like, friend of yours, has just got
10.
money? And he said there's multiple people bidding on it.
Okay.
So, all right, great.
That's more. That makes it more impressive, I think.
Yeah, good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. We know what we are. The Pardon My Take thing started with them having Bill Belichick on, which was a great get for them.
Yep.
And you know how tough it is to get certain people, Bert, and you've got your own history with Bill, a long history, and they, that was top of their wish list for years and years. So I think at the root of this is the problem with getting just clips of shows that you're not entirely familiar with. Of course I know Big Cat and I know Barstool and I know Pardon My Take, and it's a hugely successful show.
Yeah.
And it seems like a really good show.
Unbelievable, yeah.
I just don't have time to consume it all. Right. Doing your own show every day, you've got other stuff, there's things going on. So this is a product of only getting snippets of it. When we heard them talking not only to Bill, but about them in the aftermath and about, the interaction with them and Jordan and, how lucky they were to have him. I don't know any of the context. And people have emailed me with some context about this. First of all, this was from Brian. He said, love your show. Love PMT. PMT saying they love Jordan is very tongue-in-cheek. They always wanted to have Bill on the show, and they've been jokingly saying she's their queen for a while now to get Bill to come on. Also, Hank, the one from Scituate, is the one who loves Bill so much. He hasn't lived there in probably 8 to 10 years, and all those Barstool guys and guys like Simmons and Bill Burr, seems like they never say a bad thing about the Boston teams once they don't live there anymore. And I said, wow, that's an interesting point. People who grow up like Boston sports fans, and once they leave here, there is this thing that happens where
because you're not around it anymore, and that's 100% true.
Listen, okay, so Bill Burr, who I love, right? I think he's a great comic.
Yeah.
Also does a really good podcast. Hearing him talk about Bill Belichick toward the end of Bill Belichick's tenure here. And he was saying stuff like this.
Yeah, I am a diehard Patriots fan. I think this is way too early to even remotely think about. And that's another thing too. Who are you replacing him with?
By the way, this was in November
of 23.
Of it, of his last season.
So he's 2 months away from getting fired, right?
Gerard Mayo is apparently on there, but
also a lot of rumors of maybe trading for Mike Vrabel.
A lot of rumors from who?
From the same people starting the conversation about
exactly. It's all BS.
Right.
It's all BS. This is all because there's 24 hours of sports media. You just have to come up with some stuff. I mean, I don't understand. It's okay, we're 2-7. We have no offensive line right now for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is running for his life. You're bringing Zappe. He's running for his life. The play can't develop. You're going to have problems. This is why marriages don't work out. The second there's rough water, people leave, and then what do? Do they stay single? They get married again. You're signing up for the same ride. So what are you going to do? You're going to get rid of Bill Belichick, and you're going to bring some guy in with no rings.
That's correct.
But it's somebody new.
By the way, oddly prophetic with the switch over to Gerard Mayo and what ended up happening, but where there seems to be this disconnect with Boston sports fans once they're not in it and living it every day. I don't know if you just lose that anger. You lose that negativity.
No,
it's probably a much healthier and better way to live, whether it's Bill Burr or Hank or anyone else, to actually just be able to be a fan and be have some positivity and just support things without having this constant nagging feeling that it's going south. But that's what happens. I hate to chalk it up to something as simple as just geography and where you are, but I thought it was a really good explanation from the emailer. It's once you're not here,
that's a great point. I would.
Your attitude changes drastically.
Would you guys say I'm overly positive about Ohio State? I'm just asking.
I think that's putting it mildly.
Okay.
Yes.
Every Saturday in the fall, I'm on a handful of text groups with my friends where I am sitting on the couch, firing every coach, benching every quarterback, pissed off. And there's a psychology of it is we can say these things about our team, but you can't say these things about our team. And so if you're in an environment where there are a lot of others like you right?
Yeah.
Then you're going to feel comfortable saying those things because you're among other people that feel as strongly about the team as you do. If you move outside of that bubble, and now all of a sudden
You're not
surrounded by
hearing it
other
all the
people,
time.
and you're not hearing it all. Now all of a sudden it's like if anybody like hearing that Mac Jones sucks from another Patriots fan, you're going to commiserate. Hearing Mac Jones sucks from a Jets fan, if you're in New York, you're going to probably go. It's just a totally different thing.
Right.
So, like, the psychology of that 100% applies. And so, like, that's why I brought up my own example, because I'm sitting there, like, on the couch at 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, 3 Coors Lights in, stressed out because we're not winning by 30. And I'm texting all of my buddies, like, fire this guy. This guy sucks. Am I saying it to Michigan fans? No. You know what I mean? Like,
Saying it within earshot of Michigan fans? No.
No.
And if they say that, I'm going to tell them how much worse their guy sucks than my guy.
Right.
But, like, so there's 100% like that psychology to it. And if you're outside of the bubble, then
I'm sure to like some people in Columbus, probably sometimes if they're just hearing you and they don't know your history with the school and all that stuff, they probably think, what is this guy thinking? It's like he said things are all rosy. He doesn't really know what's going on.
Right. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's yes, I agree. I mean, I think like the thing with I caught a little bit of the PMT argument. It's just I think there's a little bit of a just push and pull there, and like the whole thing about the Jordan thing is like we experience this where there's tension between journalism style media and entertainment style media. And I think part of the problem that journalism style media has with entertainment style media is, listen, this person needs to be asked these questions, and now you're getting access to them, and you're not asking these questions, so you're giving him safe harbor. So he can still get his message out or get things positioned however he wants them to get positioned without answering these questions. So now he's never going to have to answer those questions.
Yeah,
and for someone like me, in my position, I can't enter it. Like, if there's some, I can't sit down with, like, Rashee Rice. I couldn't sit down, like, say a publicist calls me tomorrow and asks me about,
hey, you want to have a friendly chin wag with Rashee Rice?
Hey, do you want to talk about the Chiefs season with Rashee Rice? Well, yeah, but I gotta ask him about being busted.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like, well, we can't do the interview if you're gonna ask that. Okay, I can't do the interview then.
Yeah.
Like, and like anyone who's in the news, like, I couldn't do an interview with Mike Vrabel right now without asking about his personal situation. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but we're not.
Whereas I like for people on our side of the business, and look, like, this is a natural tension point between both sides. For people on our side of the business, sorry about that. For people on our side of the business, when you see like someone else giving that person safe harbor, it's like that's kind of. That sucks, you know?
Yeah, but that's your side of the business. We're in the same business, I feel, as like the PMT guys, entertaining. The only, it wasn't even an issue. The only topic of conversation was how entertaining it would have been for us personally had he been asked about Jordan Hudson. That's it.
Did Hannity ask him about Jordan Hudson?
No, there was
no. They didn't ask at all. It would have been more interesting. You would get more people to listen to your podcast if you had asked.
No, stop. We got a break. We got a break. We'll continue with this because there's some other stuff to get to, and then we got the Bedard and Beatles stuff too. So we'll do all that next. Hold on. ticket not punched.
Hardy.
No, the ticket's not punched. You got a bunch of stuff wrong when you talk. So much for this country.
Dutcher and Hardy.
I guess this country's a bunch of buffoons that don't know the rules.
You idiot. The Sports Hub.
Dutcher and Hardy, Fred out today. By the way, I just realized I never finished my thought earlier. Got rambling and talking about other stuff. Fred is out sick today. If you think he's trying to turn this into a 4-day weekend, you're wrong because he's working on Monday. What if Fred also calls in sick on Monday?
That was what we were getting to.
That's what we were getting to, and I never got there, and I apologize. Now he has banked the vacation day anyway, uses another sick day, gets himself the 4-day weekend.
That's a power move.
It's the longest of cons and the most powerful of moves, and I don't think that's what's happening.
No, I don't either.
But someone in this room theorized on that very possibility when he showed up.
Yeah.
I was joking, Fred.
Here's why that's not the case. We all made that connection. Fred would not make that connection on his own.
You're giving him too much credit.
You're giving him too much credit. Fred is constantly trying to stay on top of like how many vacation days he has, and he's never has it right and all that. So it would never occur to him that taking the okay, I get credit for working this day, so I'm going to take a sick day and still get credit for the comp day. And I don't think his brain is capable of conceptualizing that, and I mean that as a compliment.
No, it doesn't sound complimentary, and maybe you're not giving him enough. All right, let's listen to a little bit for this from PMT. I guess this from the episode, and I think they find it as ridiculous as we do, because the Nesson article that was written about this, first of all, referred to the show as Tucker and Rich.
Tucker.
Tucker, although they in the body of the story,
and Rich.
And Rich. Yeah. So it's like wrong on both. And then in the body of the story, they did refer to the host as Fred Dutcher and Rob Hardypool. So that, okay, fine. You know, that part of it. But I think this is them reacting to either a tweet or that article.
I feel like we might be in a beef right now.
Uh-oh.
We might be beefing.
Who are we beefing with?
With Dutcher and Rich.
Yep.
Which sounds like that's just the name for Ghislaine and Jeffrey Epstein back in the day. That was their going out name.
That's a good line.
Yeah. But apparently they're not happy with the way that we conducted the Bill Belichick interview. But they said something that was wild today, because I guess they're a Boston radio show, right? Hank?
Yep.
And so they've been around Belichick for a while, probably got sick of the way that he used to treat the media sometimes, which is like he's always been a grumpy guy, never been like, the most forthcoming when he didn't have to be. So it sounds to me like they don't really care for him that much based on the small amount that I've heard. But then one of them said something, I don't know if it was Dutcher or if it was Rich or who it was, but they said that Belichick right now needed us more than we need Belichick. And they're like, I wonder what the part of my take guys we're getting out of having Bill Belichick on the podcast. It's like, wait, what? He's the best football coach of all time. We want to talk to the guy about football. And then the other guy said Bill Belichick right now is more known for dating Jordan Hudson than he is for anything else. And it's like, wait, what, have we completely lost the plot?
Wait,
yep.
I agree with that.
She's our queen. We can agree to disagree.
She's our queen.
See, now I'm hearing it. Now I'm hearing the sarcasm dripping from them when they're talking about Jordan.
Yeah, I think he is most known still for being a football coach, but it's like the guy that can do it all.
So, Hank.
Listen.
Where are you at with this beef? Because you started this beef they started.
They
retaliated.
started the beef. I kind of retaliated. I think that the clip PFT's talking about is the original clip. No, there's no. It is what it is. PFT's right. He's like they have a long-standing beef with Belichick, and they need to fill their time. They need to talk about Belichick. They're never going to be complimentary.
I saw one tweet that was like, Hennies did not back down.
Yeah, Hank.
Oh, no, here
way to go. That's my boy.
This is great. This is from Boston Radio Watch, which I'm going to follow that account. Looks like, Dutcher and Hardy just started a beef with Barstool's Pardon My Take.
Uh-oh.
They roasted PMT's Belichick interview on air yesterday, and PMT's Hank Lockwood didn't exactly take it lying down.
Let's go.
That's the tweet I was talking about.
Yeah, that's my guy, Hank.
That's my boy.
Phrased a little bit.
Doesn't take it lying down.
Yeah.
So I like
unless he's in Vandy Woodhead and we got a long drive.
Yeah.
So where are we at with the beef?
I don't know. It's more a question for Hank because he's the one that's leading this battle. So
I'm not leading this battle. They took a shot. I said him, and that's where I stand.
Wow.
Okay, but
he did not back down again.
Official stance. You guys can just him.
Okay. All right. Him.
Yeah.
So I guess
This boy
the
has
battle
not-
rages on.
Yeah.
We should just title this
Quote
episode.
card.
Yeah.
Can we make a quote card of Henny saying "F them"?
Yeah.
In reference to Rich and Touchy, or
we should honestly we should title this episode "Hank Doesn't Back Down Again."
Hank Lockwood breaks his silence on Boston radio beef with Toucher and Richardson.
The constant either from actual like Nesson.com piece with a real writer attached to it. I don't even think it was AI that had the name of the show wrong on both counts, and the fact that no, there's no beef, and whoever tweeted out there like we absolutely went after them for the disappointed that like Jordan didn't get brought up. That's it. That's all. And that's as much about, Fred's not here to, defend himself or say otherwise, but I think he would agree that he is, that's all he really wants out of Bill. And it was Fred. I'm not trying to deflect anything away from me. It was Fred that said that's what Bill is best known for now. In the overall Bill Belichick Wikipedia entry sense of the word, no, of course we all know who Bill Belichick is, but in terms of what he has been newsworthy for over the last couple of years, what would you say, Bert? What is been Bill Belichick's most newsworthy mentions over the past couple of years? Was it his outstanding record at North Carolina? Was it the fact that he's the 33rd NFL team, or is it his relation? What, John?
Nothing. I was just saying nobody was drafted off of.
Or is it his relationship with Jordan Hudson? I mean, that's what the casual fans have been interested and know Bill Belichick from over the last couple of years anyway. That part of it I completely agree with.
Well, what I was going to say at the end of the last segment is, like, you'd be surprised, too, how often you're in a situation like that and the person actually wants to be asked about it. Like, where you think it's a touchy subject, but they actually have something to say on it. And that's why you ask the question, because you can get more interesting content. Now, sometimes you will get shut down, but, like, I think, if you know how to interview people and you know how to talk to people, there's a artful way that you can ask those questions that isn't disrespectful, that sometimes will reveal that person actually wants to talk about it. And I've found more often than not
talking about this.
Yeah,
that
you might get shut down.
But I think more often than not, you have the people who don't want those questions asked are some PR person, some publicist, some hanger-on that doesn't want to get in trouble with the person who's being interviewed. But a lot of times, when you get in that setting, if you can approach it in a respectful way, you can get the best stuff you'd possibly imagine out of them. And
no.
And then sometimes it goes like that.
Yeah.
But I would say, the other thing I thought of, was, you said Hannity didn't bring it up. Well, they did talk about the CBS interview, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So, that did come up in the Hannity interview.
The Hannity stuff was borderline insanity. You've got,
I was stunned.
Yeah, stunned at the way he was treated by CBS.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and
I hope you sue him.
And I don't think he was kidding. Sue over what?
Right.
I mean, it's not like it was some fly-by-night outfit. There was CBS News who conducted an interview, who showed what actually happened. And why do you think they asked it? To get on your nerves? Do you think they asked about Jordan because they were trying to piss you off, or is it because what everybody was waiting for and wanted you to ask him, and when you got shut down by Jordan, that was the most compelling part of the interview? Right. I don't know what you're going to sue him over. That's what you were there to do, and that's what CBS was there to do, and they got what they came for, in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I was in this situation with Bill once. So when I went from when I went from the Dallas Morning News to the Sporting News, and we were relaunching the magazine. That was a short-lived thing, but when we were relaunching the magazine, one of the things that I had was I had a one-on-one with Bill coming out of their 2007 season when they were undefeated, and so like went into the interview, and Spygate was obviously a big story back then, and so like I had to ask about it, and so like I think I asked 2 or 3 questions. It was almost I got almost no response.
Sure.
It was very clipped, whatever. It did not ruin the interview. But I think he knew I had to ask it, and I asked it, and then we moved on from it. And like so like I think those, again, it doesn't always work out that way. Where like you're going to get an interesting response, but you'd be surprised how often it does.
Yeah.
How often if you like, and you can't come out of the gates like just, like you're, like 60 minutes, you know what I mean? But there's a way to do it.
Are you a terrorist?
That's right. You start, sports talk Matt.
You know what
Bobby,
I thought
Yankees are in town.
You know your tone there. You know what that kind of sounded like? Just remember Chris Hansen? To Catch a Predator?
Oh, yeah.
But that was Mike Wallace, how he...
What are you doing with that 6-pack of Zima?
Yeah. Well, Mike Wallace starts his interview with the Ayatollah. Are you a terrorist? Like question 1. It's like, you can't do that. But look, Bert, you've got so much more experience doing this. We've all had those moments, though. The first time I got a chance to talk to Malcolm Butler, like after the Super Bowl he didn't play in, that's the first thing I asked him. Sat down on Radio Row. I think I can't remember what city we were in. And it was an interesting answer. Still don't have an answer for it. And way more so than Jordan Hudson, what I want Bill to talk about is not playing Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl. It's really the only thing that interests me about Bill Belichick in terms of a question that he would get. Would he answer it? I don't know. But you have to at least, like you said, Bert, take the chance that it is something that he wants to talk about. And if asked in an artful way and you can get talking about it without grilling him about it, then who knows what can come from it.
Yep. And I listened to most of the PMT interview, and I thought it was really good. Like I thought they did a good job of asking a lot of relevant stuff. But there's that whole journalism versus entertainment thing, which like they don't claim to be journalists, and they've very strongly come out and said that. But there is that that push and pull and the tension between the two sides, which like you are providing safe harbor now for someone to not answer some relevant questions, which I think is something that's existed for a long time.
And the last thing on this.
I have a much bigger problem if a journalist does.
Last thing on this, when we were discussing earlier before the break, and you kept saying, when we do it, when you say we, you mean you, because that's not what we do here either. This isn't journalism on this show.
We as journalists.
Yes, you and your ilk. All right. Are we going to have time to get to the Bedard Bertrand thing here in the next segment?
We can do it at 9.
Yeah, you can do it at 9.
Yeah, but Bert will be gone. Yeah, well, you can give us your pre-thoughts if you want to.
On Beetle and
Bedard.
And Greg?
Yeah, but we'll do that next after Wallach's headlines.
Sports Hub headline.
The Sports Hub. This is sad. I just checked the bidding again on the need a fourth for the Who's Your Caddy, June 8th, Brook Meadow Country Club. Proceeds benefiting Special Olympics. Felger Maz still at $10,000. We have gone up from $2,040 to $2,045.
Wow.
Can we not do this?
Oh.
And if it literally gets to nickel and diming it, if it gets to $2,045.10,
That's worse than no
That-
additional bid.
Yeah.
a $5 increase, yes, is worse than no additional bid.
Two
Yeah.
guys at the end of an auction that have exhausted their bank accounts and will go up by 30 cents.
I wasn't insulted until just now.
Yeah.
I thought it's all for a good cause. I don't care that we've got a fifth of what Felger has. It doesn't bother me. That bothers me.
Yeah.
So someone said, you know what? That's worth another $5.
2 bits. I got him.
Albert, in a few more minutes, and by the way, thank you so much for sticking around extra hour today. It's been great having you here with Fred out, but the thing we're going to do at 9 is some back and forth between Mark Bertrand and Greg Bedard, which stemmed from something that happened years ago and a dust-up that was really personal between them, but it had some professional ramifications.
Poor Zoe got thrown in the middle of this, huh?
Zoe's fault.
Seriously.
Sounds like it was his fault.
My God. Poor Zoe. I mean, there's nothing like setting the fire. There's nothing like setting the fire and then standing back and watching everyone else scream at each other over it. You know?
Some people just
Poor
want to watch.
Zoe.
Some people just want to watch the world burn. Other people don't know how fire works, and I think that's what you're
That's more apt. You're right about that. That's fair.
Book of matches. So
what's going on?
But you must have had like professional, issues rise up between you and other writers over the years.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
What? And anything where you were like completely wrong and had to hat in hand say that like you screwed something up. I'm not talking about like messing up a source or anything like that, because that's part of the territory, and I'm sure that's a learning experience. But between you and like another media person.
Yeah, I would say there was one.
You don't have to tell me who it is, but can you tell me what it was about?
I did apologize to him.
Okay.
And so this was early in my career. And, when you're early in your career, you're trying to figure out, like, okay, you just like figuring out the landscape and everything else. And I was new covering the Patriots. And back then, and this seems like a zillion years ago now, but like it was actually a big story if you could break when a team signs first round pick, because back then, before the 2011 CBA, I mean, rookies were like often carrying holdouts into training camp and missing parts of training camp because of contract disputes. And so if you could break a first round pick signing, then that was a big deal. Mm-hmm. So in 2006, the Patriots were in a contract dispute with Lawrence Maroney.
Oh yeah,
and so his agent, who I had a good relationship with, there was a story out there at a competitor that had there was a story out there in the Globe that he had fired his agent. So his agent calls me, I built a relationship with his agent, like really pissed off. Like, he didn't fire me. It's a paperwork thing. Someone's probably saw it in the NFLPA records, but it's actually just like we're moving him from like I was the primary agent, whatever. So okay. It was a paperwork thing basically. And so someone at another outlet had written
he had fired his agent.
So at the time, I'm brand new on the beat, like less than a year. And the Metro West Daily News was owned by the Boston Herald. So the Herald would pick up my stories. And so, I went to an editor at the Herald and I said, hey, I'm like, I have this that he's on the record.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't fire his agent. And so how do you want me to handle this? And the Herald at the time was very aggressive about saying contrary to this, contrary to that, and kind of going to war with everybody.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's, a scrappy tabloid, totally get it. But my instinct was I don't want to bury this other writer, but it's the editor was like, contrary, you got to write contrary to this other report. So I write it. And then, a month later, I wind up breaking Lawrence Maroney's signing.
Okay.
Right? Which, again, early in my career.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It was a big deal at the time. And then I noticed this other writer was, kind of, who I've been very friendly with, was, pissed off, whatever. And, and then eventually, I went to the other writer and, we hashed it out and everything and got past it. And I was wrong. I should have, because I had a good relationship with that writer, because I was friendly with that writer. I should have said something to that person, and I should have said, look, I just want to give you a heads up, we're competing with each other, but and it actually, something similar came up this week for me, where I had a piece of information that was contrary to what somebody else had reported. And because I have a good relationship with this other reporter, I said to them, hey, you might want to double check that. You might want to.
Yeah.
And I just, it wasn't worth it to me to go and report something. And it wound up that he would, this other reporter, which I hadn't reported the whole thing out, this other reporter was actually right. But I told him, hey, you might want to go double check that, rather than trying to go and run with something that was going to fly in the face of what, it wasn't that big a deal to me to have that.
Mm-hmm.
It was more important to me to do right by the people around me. And that's something that I learned 20 years ago, where I should have given that reporter a heads up. I probably shouldn't have dunked in their face, which it kind of felt like I was doing at the time. And I genuinely felt bad about it.
Well, did you smooth things over?
Yes.
Are you okay with this person now?
Yes.
All right. I'm glad we used this as the preamble, because, Bert, that is very, very tame. And that was very well-mannered, and that was a very grown-up way of handling things. It serves as a great preamble to what Bedard and Beadle were doing yesterday. I got to say, for as bad as it could have gotten, I don't think it got that bad. But if you missed it yesterday on Zolak and Bertrand, it was compelling. It was good stuff. Bert, always good stuff with you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks,
you, guys.
Enjoy your long weekend.
You too, and we'll be listening for Fred.
We'll reconvene listen on Monday. Of course, we'll all be up.
See who's right. See if your theory holds any water.
It wasn't.
It would be dastardly.
I threw it out there. I didn't do the second
No, you're a
order
reporter. You're sniffing around a good story here. I like that.
I didn't go to the second order thinking that.
No. I think
that, where respect, it was well, then he banks the vacation day.
He's working on Monday.
Respect the journalistic instinct here. I like that.
What if he's still
4-day weekend? 4-day weekend.
God. All right. 90 seconds here with Wallach's headlines, then we're back.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy with Fred out.
You mean about Fred?
Yeah.
Okay.
What if? It's just a theory, but I think this is a good one. What if Fred was unable to recover from his day yesterday that included both the dentist and getting new tires? Now, Fred has often said you can only plan one thing on a show day after the show.
See, you basically planned it. You planned the tire thing for him. That was a low-stress transaction. You, being the person you are, and it was about tires, so you went out, if I remember correctly, into the garage, took a picture of his tires, sent it to Town Fair Tire, basically set up the whole thing for him. Now, I understand it's a pain. You have to call. You're not sure if they have availability. You made sure there was availability.
It's a
you
process.
rolled out the red carpet for him. So I think it's only one thing that he had to plan yesterday.
You can roll into Town Fair Tire and say, I need tires, and they'll take care of you. But if you want to take care of them, which I feel obligated to, whether it's Chris or anyone else at Town Fair Tire, give them a little heads up, saying this, what you need, this is what you're looking for, this is what you got in there now. We'll talk some options, and let's make this easy for the both of us. But it was still, he had to drive himself there. He probably had to wait.
It was an arduous waiting period.
The 30 minutes while they put the new tires on.
Did you send him up the road to the Waltham one? That's literally 5 minutes away, or did he?
I believe no. There's a Newton one on. There's one on Needham.
I was out yesterday. So it was tires and dentist, but was there also a trip to the baseball game yesterday? Was there?
No, that was 2 days ago.
Okay, so I was going to say if that also was part of the mix yesterday, then this theory has a lot more water.
I don't think that theory holds water. I'm going against that theory.
And it's actual illness.
Yes.
Yeah. Stomach illness not related to the dentist /
correct
Town Fair Tire / exhaustion predicament.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. I don't know if Fred has allergies like I do. Maybe this is an allergic
My dog has allergies right now.
Yeah.
My dog is itching and sneezing something fierce.
Allergies knocked me on my ass yesterday. Maybe this is part of it.
All right. Yesterday, Mark Bertrand and Greg Bedard appeared on the same show together. Now, this is after Beetle had kind of come to his wit's end about something with Bedard and had gone on the air and just spilled the beans about everything that caused the dust up between him and Bedard years back. And yesterday, they had things out on the air, and it was appointment listening. So, noontime yesterday. Oh, there's T-Bone right now, producer of the Zolak and Bertrand show. Appointment listening yesterday, T-Bone. Well done. So we're...
Yeah, I'm just... What kind of reaction did you get?
It was kind of it was a shoulder shrug as much as he can shrug his shoulders.
I was just going to say the man can't shrug his shoulders.
And he kind of gave me like a Phil Mickelson thumbs up. Phil does that weird thing where his thumb's like at a 45-degree angle and he does the thumbs
it's
up.
Like, whatever, get away from me.
Exactly.
Type of thing. Yeah.
But here's what a portion of that sounded like yesterday.
Oh, something's going on when Jay Stu is back there behind the glass, just standing there. Just standing there staring at me. What, Jimmy? What?
Day 4 with the hat. I love it.
What? It's making me uncomfortable. Hi, Greg. I can't hear Greg.
Can't hear Greg.
Hold on.
Hello?
There we go.
There we go. We have Greg.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Oh, okay. So I guess I didn't realize this. Credit to Bedard's audio setup. I was listening to it after it already started. I thought he was in studio. Oh.
No, he's on Zoom.
Okay.
You also left out the fact that we had a chance to talk to Beetle yesterday before this particular spot happened. And Mark was very much looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Very much looking forward to, quote unquote, hashing it out with Greg during his program.
That's right.
I can't hear Greg.
Can't hear Greg.
Hold on.
Hello?
There we go. There we go. We have Greg.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
How's it going? I guess the first thing I wanted to say was, Mark,
Obviously, this is a little edited here for time and stuff, so we can get to the good stuff.
Hi, Greg. I can't hear Greg.
Can't hear Greg.
Hold on.
Hello?
There we go. There we go. We have Greg.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
How's it going? I guess the first thing I wanted to say was, Mark, 24 hours later, do you have anything to say? Any further thoughts? Anything like that?
Nope. I'd stand by what I said.
Okay. I guess the first thing I wanted to say is I have zero beef against you personally. Never have. The second thing is, I thought the personal attack was unwarranted and unprofessional yesterday. I was busting balls, sort of like, sometimes you guys play my podcast and have a little fun and poke fun at me or talk about the Packer way and stuff like that. Like, I don't take that personally. If that offended you, if you took that personally, I apologize for that. That was not my intent. So, I wanted to say that. And in credit to you, you told me at the time, you said that, I don't know if you named Belichick, but,
I undoubtedly did. That is not in dispute and should not be in dispute. And that's the thing that personally I still hold against you, Greg. I hold that against you. How that played out.
Okay. So I think they're going to get into it a little bit here, but in case they don't, this stemmed from Beetle giving Greg a heads up about conversations that were being held about Greg behind his back. And Beetle told Greg, hey, careful who you're telling things to because it's being used against you in a not nice way. Just don't. This is between us. Don't go any further with it. And then Beetle said that Greg immediately went to the person who Beetle was hearing this from and confronted them.
Okay.
And I feel like you have resented me for holding that against you and for being pissed off about that for all these years. Because I feel like you did me dirty on that when I did you a solid.
Okay, so...
and I let it go, but I feel like... I didn't let it go. I just pretty much have sort of personally written you off, and I feel like you resent me for that because I wasn't willing to let that go.
Okay. You're obviously entitled to feel that way. So, I maybe this part should be taken off air, but I do remember you telling me, which I appreciated. I do remember talking to...
By the way, no better way to get people to listen to what you're about to say than prefacing it with, maybe we should do this off the air.
Exactly. Really, Greg?
I don't, Greg.
Okay.
I don't know if you did that on purpose, but if you did,
Brilliant.
Yes.
Very well done.
Now I'm really listening.
I do remember you telling me, which I appreciated. I do remember talking to more of a direct source about what was said and explain to that person sort of the context of it. I don't recall.
Is it Zoe? Are we talking about Zoe?
You called me that night.
Are we talking about Zoe? Is that what we're talking about?
You told me that night.
Oh, boy. Here we
Greg doesn't want to name names.
Here we go. It's Zolak, who had been quiet up until now.
That guy is sitting right there. Scott Zolak.
Let's not keep anything a secret.
If we're talking about Zoe, then say Zoe.
Let's go right at it. I love this. This is phenomenal stuff.
Are we talking about Zoe?
You called me that night.
Are we talking about Zoe? Is that what we're talking about?
You told me that night.
Yes. I called Zoe that night, and he told me what Bill was saying, and I said, all right, well, that's not totally true. Here's the context, and I explained it to Zoe. I don't know if that ever got to you. Probably didn't, because you probably, if you did know the full context, you probably wouldn't have said what you said yesterday.
Fair. That's fair. That's totally fair. Yes.
But remember, I talked to you, Greg, after he talked to you.
The premise still stands of why I was pissed.
Well, I missed that part in there. So Beetle feels like there was more information that he was missing and maybe he didn't know about. What was this now?
To Zoe. I don't know if that ever got to you. Probably didn't, because you probably, if you...
Okay, I got to back it up a little bit here, because once again, Greg was being talked about behind his back. Zoe was involved in some of these conversations. Beetle told Bedard, careful what you say to Zoe or anybody else because it's being used against you, but don't say anything. And then Bedard said something to Zoe.
Right.
Okay? That's how it is.
I called Zoe that night, and he told me what Bill was saying, and I said, all right, well, that's not totally true. Here's the context, and I explained it to Zoe. I don't know if that ever got to you. Probably didn't, because you probably, if you did know the full context, you probably wouldn't have said what you said yesterday.
Fair. That's fair. That's totally fair. Yes.
But remember, I talked to you, Greg, after he talked to you.
The premise still stands of why I was pissed. We very much enjoyed doing post-game together, and you were getting dumped on pretty badly. And my conscience told me...
Mark. Now, first off,
you hear someone saying something bad about you, and your mind wonders, what could they be saying? It was so much worse than that, Greg.
That's right. Basically, they were saying terrible things about you.
The worst things. Think about the worst thing that could be said about you behind your back. Now double it.
Now,
that's what they were saying.
Now, I think it's important here to say I understand why Mark was upset, and it's completely justified. Said, don't do this, and you still went ahead and did that.
Right.
So Mark has every reason to be pissed.
Doing post-game together, and you were getting dumped on pretty badly. And my conscience told me I've got to say something because this has been going on too long. But it's got to be that you understand, protect yourself, and you don't put me in the middle of it if I tell you what's going on. And you told me you would, and then 10 minutes later, you were calling Zoe flipping out, and I was pissed. That's what I was pissed about.
You were mad about the phone call. I thought I said something on the air.
No.
So you were mad. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
So Bedard didn't even know why Beetle was mad. I knew. Did you know what Beetle was mad about? Because Bedard didn't know.
I thought it was very obvious what Beetle was mad about.
Yeah.
I don't know how you missed that. It's not as though Mark was beating around the bush and playing coy. He was pretty much direct on why he was angry.
I might make Beetle even angrier.
I don't even know why. How did you miss that? Where is the gray area?
I don't even know why you were mad at me. I was ready to apologize. I wasn't even sure what for. Oh, that? Yeah. Okay.
Can't skip that. Can't just skip over that. That's fine. I'm good.
There have been some things that Bedard has said, I guess somewhat recently on Cattle's podcast when he was talking about some of the stuff going on with his relationship with Bill and the Patriots.
I was coming back from the scouting combine, and this would have been like 2013, I think, is when I went to SI, something like that. But we were both coming back from the combine. We were both on the same flight, and actually I got one of those free upgrades to first class. So Bill and I were sitting right across the aisle from each other. And this was the time where I was weighing the MMQB offer, and I talked to Bears Nigerian, Bill's right-hand man, about it. And so Bill was there. We're getting off the plane in Boston. I said, hey, Bill, can I talk to you about something for a minute? And he's like, yeah, sure. From deplaning at the gate to baggage claim, Bill and I talked about the position at MMQB. Basically, I just said, when I was at the Globe at the time, I just put my head down and did my job. I didn't ask Bears or Bill or anybody with the Patriots, hey, do you think I'm doing a good job? Do you respect? I didn't ask anything. I just put my head down and did my job. And so I said to Bill, I said, hey, Bill, you know, Bears told you about this position, this job offer that I have. Yeah, he did. And I said, I know you read me every day. I know you read everybody. I just wanted to get your opinion. Do you think I would do a good job in that role? And I explained, I said, Peter envisions me as a young Dr. Z. Football missed that voice for a long time. And Bill's like, yeah, they never got anybody to replace him doing that. I said, no, I want to know, do you think I would do a good job at that? He said, Greg, I think you've done a great job. He's like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you write about us. We thought you had a mole in the building because it was right in line with how we were talking about the team, certain players, things like that. It was very along the same lines of what we were talking about in the building. And we thought for sure you had this great mole, this great source in the building. And I told him, I said, Bill, I'll just let you know, I do not have a mole in the building. Everything that I wrote, all my opinions came from grinding the film and watching the film and talking, you know, to league sources and things like that. And he's like, well, you did a great job. He's like, I don't think they could get anybody better to do that job. And so with Bill's blessing, that was part of the reason that I ended up taking the job.
Well, that's nice. And I hope Bill was being authentic then. And it's never nice to hear about that you're being talked about and goofed on behind your back. And sometimes, you know, one person starting it can lead to others doing it, even if they don't really feel that way. But at some point, it sounds like Bill was maybe being... this might be tough to believe, disingenuous. Whether he's praising Bedard, whether that part was phony, or whether him goofing on him, you know, and saying horrible things about him behind his back, whether that part was phony, at some point, you know, the two don't really jibe. You know, it's tough to say both things about the same person. But I can't believe Bill would be duplicitous like that.
Just look at the history.
Yeah,
Clearly.
right?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right. But there was one more comment here from Bedard. I wish I knew about this, and I apologize, Beaton. I didn't know this was in here while Bert was still in here.
This was in the wake of me getting laid off from Sports Illustrated as part of one of their many mass layoffs because they have no idea how to run business and they're not even whatever. I mean, they're barely a business now. I mean, Bert does a great job for them, but whatever.
Is it too late to call Bert in the car on the way home and play this for him?
No, I mean,
he's listening.
It's pretty
Maybe
good.
Bert, if you're listening, call in.
Let me tell you something, man. Without saying anything else, the media business right now, wild. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's just say that. And I'll leave it right there. That is not confined to Sports Illustrated, print, online, media in general. Wild. So I don't think Bert would necessarily be offended by that or anyone's assessment that sometimes you call into question the things that are going on in the business right now because it's hard to make sense of a lot of it.
I land on Beatles' side on this one. Still upset. I understand why. The original premise should not be forgotten for all of this.
Well, land on whatever side you want. I would only caution you if you choose to go against Beetle. That is for life. Okay?
That's true. There is an electrified fence there. Yeah. There's no crossing over.
No.
One way or another.
No.
Nope.
Beetle and I have been friends for a long time.
With them or against them. And there's no crossing over.
I know
It's
this.
true.
I'm not going to falsify my feelings or attitudes toward anything, but it is all done with the knowledge, not the belief, the absolute certainty
That's a fact.
that if you go against him, that's it forever.
Yeah.
Okay?
Doesn't matter what you say.
Well done.
how it is put across.
Email and stack still on the way here this morning on Toucher and Hardy. Stay with us. and it is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. They are the power plant behind the Toucher and Hardy email bit. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email, dummy. Call all sevens, except for the 6-1. 617-777-7777. Or visit gottagetglassman.com.
A lot of emails on this Beetle Bedard thing.
Yeah?
Lot of emails.
Okay.
How can you be on Beetle's side? Beetle told Greg something that Zoe understood. He was telling him in confidence. Beetle did the exact same thing he's pissed at Bedard for.
What?
He's a giant hypocrite and was a total bitch yesterday.
How is he doing the same thing?
He's not. He's not.
He's not at all.
He's not at all.
Did Bedard or anyone else tell him something in confidence that he then broke that confidence and started spreading it around?
Another one. Beetle came off awful yesterday like a total hardo. He's mad at the fact that Bedard did exactly what Beetle did. Beetle yapped, then Bedard yapped. Beetle acting tough is embarrassing. He looks awful, not Bedard.
That is, I look, if you're in Bedard's position and you find out and you're super heated and pissed, his reaction, even though it pissed off Beetle and was, maybe the wrong thing to do, I get it. You're saying things to somebody, and then that person is using that to make you the butt of jokes or whatever, and going behind your back and talking a bunch of smack about you. I understand Bedard's reaction. I also understand why it pissed Beetle off. Beetle's trying to do a friend of his, a coworker, a colleague,
right.
someone who's solid by giving them the heads up, with the caveat: do not do anything with this. Just protect yourself. Keep your hands up at all times, right? Mm-hmm. Trust no one. And then to go and betray that trust by spreading it around. So, yeah, I understand why Beetle is pissed, not acting like a bitch about it.
Nope.
Screwed him up. I mean, you screwed him up with the guy he's doing a show with every day. That's messed up.
That's a big thing.
But understand this too, John. I get Bedard's reaction. If you're super pissed off about something, it's really hard to take 10 deep breaths and not do anything about it. So it's not surprising that he's on the phone 10 minutes later. And yeah, is he blowing up Beetle's spot by doing it? Yeah, but if you're enraged, it's really hard to control yourself.
Here's another one. So no matter what Bedard says to Beetle, including apologizing and say he did him dirty, Beetle will, quote, always hold it against him, unquote. I find that to be a bit childish. I don't think it lost Beetle his job or tarnished his name forever. I think he's doing pretty well. I guess I just don't understand why some people are so petty about things and can never make amends. Seems more like Beetle enjoys holding a grudge and making people feel lesser than him. Well, yes, if you listen to the midday show, this is on brand.
I don't know that he enjoys it, and it's not about making people feel lesser than him. I don't think he enjoys holding a grudge. I don't think he has a choice.
Oh, the last line is, I anticipate he will never talk to me again.
No, look, the notion that he enjoys holding a grudge is wrong. John, do you enjoy your bushy eyebrows?
Do I enjoy them? Not necessarily. Why?
It's part of your DNA. They can't be helped.
I know.
Bertrand, right?
Interesting choice.
Of the Quincy Bertrands.
All the things, yeah.
Holding a grudge is not something that he enjoys any more than you enjoy, having the juicy tumor.
Oh.
It's part of your chemical makeup.
Yes.
Right? It couldn't be helped.
Right.
Can't help that.
It's part of his DNA.
That's Bertrand.
Yes. Agreed.
No, don't confuse the two. Sarah from Everett.
Oh, good.
Who's always emailing.
Yeah.
Especially about Fred. Fred does not suffer the emails of Sarah, but with Fred gone, we can do this. Number one, not only did Fred have to go to the dentist yesterday and have the tires changed, but he had the TTTB day, the Toucher Testosterone Thursday. So that was a 3-activity day, when Fred has often said you can only have one activity on a show day. Thank you, Sarah. Also, Sarah, always helpful, Does Fred know he has to go back to the same inspection spot that denied him, or he will have to go to another spot? Is that true?
I think so.
Yes, I believe that.
I think
is the
that
case.
is true.
I've
yes,
I've had that happen before, and you have to go back to the same place to get the sticker.
Oh
proper.
boy.
Yeah.
Do you also have to pay in cash still?
No, I had my sticker done just a few weeks ago and was paying with a credit card.
Had it done last July.
That's the other special card.
Oh yeah, that's right. The other one that
The
I
food
have.
stamps card.
Yeah, it was beginning of the month. It just reloaded it, so I was able to go and get some things done. So it was nice. Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Sarah and Everett with another email.
Oh, boy.
Sorry, Hardy. I adore you, but Bertrand is by far my favorite host on 98.5. He's funny, smart, polarizing, and controversial. He cracks me up daily.
3.14-159-265-35-8979-323846.
I don't like hearing that.
She didn't have the sweater in front of her mouth when she said that.
Very few people's favorite on the station. I thought maybe with Sarah, I had it, there was
Of
one I
all
could
the
count
people,
on.
yeah.
Wow. Sorry for the double email. This is from Ben.
Okay.
Who emailed a few minutes ago saying that, Beatles going to him now. I think Fred might be the most sensitive sick person I've ever seen. I may be wrong, so feel free to correct me, but I feel like if something is at even at an imbalance with Freddie, he's bedridden for 36 hours.
Yeah.
I do understand the throat issue, would never want to put that money-making voice at risk, but sheesh, he calls out easy. I have no idea what he's dealing with. All I know is that he texted me at 4 a.m. saying he'd been up all night with a stomach thing, and I have A, no reason to disbelieve it, and B, if it is in any way contagious,
No,
stay out.
I said
Yes.
to you guys the whole time I've been this bored. If you're
Agreed.
sick, stay home. I don't want to get sick.
Well, you're in the other room.
Yeah. Well, I say it to these two chuckle-fools as well. So,
Chuckle-fools?
Chuckle-fools. Yeah.
Okay. You told a story during the first hour about how your ex-girlfriend poisoned you upon seeing her. Where Fresno, Bakersfield? Where were you?
it was a girlfriend.
Okay.
It was a girlfriend from East Lansing. I had moved to Albuquerque. I went to visit her in Bakersfield, even though we had broken up. But we decided, we were going to spend, not even a full weekend together. It was just a couple of days. And after going on a hike, I got there probably on a Friday night. We went on a hike late Saturday morning. She packed some sandwiches. We enjoyed a sandwich in the beautiful rustic hills of Bakersfield. Awful, awful place.
Right.
Fresno's the armpit of California. Bakersfield is the a-hole.
Okay.
It is an awful place. About right in the time frame of food poisoning. I would say 5 to 6 hours after I ate that sandwich, we went out to dinner. I immediately knew I would not be able to eat the dinner. I excused myself to the bathroom, and we left the restaurant, and then I spent the entire night afterward back at her apartment getting sick. And
how was she when that was happening?
How was she?
Yes, was she, oh, let me take care of you, or just kind of left you alone?
I don't even remember. I mean, she was kind of forced to deal with it because I was getting sick all over her bathroom in her apartment, so she was forced to deal with at least some of it. But we enjoyed the same sandwich. She did not get sick. I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I have thought many times over the years that she poisoned me on purpose.
We have an email about this.
Okay.
You guys have to find the number for the old girlfriend and talk to her to find out the truth. If Beetle can have on his old nemesis from yesterday, then you can do this. Do this in memory of Fred. You know he would want you to do it. And I happen to agree with him.
In memory of Fred.
I know. All of a sudden, Fred is dead. But I agree with this. This would be a fascinating character study. I think if there was a way you could have this woman on, she's got to be in her 50s by now, right? So I would think she'd let bygones be bygones and tell the truth.
This will be the second time in a week. And it happens, I mean, practically never. So it would be really something if for the second time this week, I had to consult with my wife about a subject we were going to broach on the show. That would really be something.
Does your wife know this story?
What's that?
Does your wife know you were poisoned and the whole thing?
No.
Okay.
No. We do not discuss prior relationships ever.
Okay.
So this would be something that would have to be broached. Much like earlier this weekend, I said there might be a chance I'm caddying in the same group with Dylan Dreyer at the Travelers Championship.
Oh, any update on that?
I just thought I would throw it out there.
Any update on that? Have you gotten confirmation?
No. But I am the next time I speak with anybody from the Travelers, and of course, if you'd like to hear the conversation with Chief Administrative Officer Andy Bissett from the Travelers Championship and Tournament Director Nathan Grube, brought in by their counsel Michael Whitmer, that will be airing Sunday morning on the Sports Hub Golf Club. At which point, and Fred might be dead.
The life expectancy of Fred Toucher has been estimated at 50 years. What will be his ultimate cause of death? It's time to play.
So Fred now 51 years old.
He's outlived his expectancy.
He's outlived his life expectancy.
He's in bonus time, baby.
Could be dead. Might be dead already. We're already getting in memoriam emails and everything else. Another email from Sarah. Sarah, I don't know. All right. I'm
loading up here.
All right. We're not. You're right. No, now we're done. You think Beetle's the only one that can hold a grudge? Her saying that Beetle is her favorite personality on the station after all that we've been through, Sarah?
Wow.
Watch this grudge. You never say anything like it. People absolutely saying that the PMT guys are 1,000% being sarcastic about not only calling Jordan Hudson their queen, about some of the stuff with Belichick, but about the beef, 1,000% sarcastic, which would make sense.
Yeah. You could kind of hear it in the audio we played earlier.
Hardy, I think a lot of listeners would support the opposite of shooting the breeze. Sure, STB is light and airy, but everyone is a little grumpy in the morning. Why not give the listeners a safe place to pound the dirt and complain freely? And it doesn't hurt that it's an old-timey saying. Mm-hmm. That is from Andy.
Feel like shooting the breeze?
Now, we would not do shooting the breeze. We would pound the dirt.
Yeah. That reminds me, Crash is getting married again.
That's pretty good.
I see pictures on Facebook.
So Fred said this earlier in the week or last week. This is marriage number 4 for
Yes,
Crash?
it is. It's marriage number 4.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, number 4.
That's like Liz Taylor, Rich Burton type of stuff.
No, he's got a way to go. Didn't Liz get married 7 times?
Well, I think they were married 7 times to each other.
Oh.
Or maybe 5 times to each other.
That could be, yeah.
All right. We will be back with the stack to wrap this thing up here on Toucher and Hardy.
Sports Hub headlines.
we all just take acid? Take acid? It's unbelievable.
Hunter and Hart. What was he talking about?
Like you, Fred, I'm not worried.
The Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show?
You were here for the stack to find out why this was of a particular concern to him. Hooters is rebranding to be a more family-friendly restaurant. This is according to People magazine.
Why?
I don't know. Now, some families, among them the Bertrands, were already called this a family-friendly restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I believe when his twins celebrated a birthday 2 years ago, they wanted to go to Hooters.
Mm-hmm.
These are not teenage boys, mind you. These aren't even young men blossoming into manhood yet.
Yeah.
These are like full-on boys.
Yeah.
But they know what's up. They wanted to go to Hooters for their birthday. Now, John, when was the last time you were at a Hooters?
It's been about 5 years.
Okay, that's more recent than I would have guessed.
It's been about 5 years.
Now, why did you find yourself at Hooters 5 years ago?
We were actually driving back from Philadelphia, of all things. We were all tired. Got off the
with
highway.
Two boys in the car.
Exactly
with
right.
the two 10, 11-year-old boys.
That's correct. Actually, specifically 11 years old. Yes.
How about that?
Yep.
And said, you know what? I'm starting to feel some things.
Yep.
I need to check out this Hooters place and see if what I'm feeling has any merit. Okay.
Stopped in Jersey. There it is.
The New Jersey Hooters.
Yep.
Now, we used to go to Hooters in Las Vegas. My not wife at the time, but girlfriend at the time, just because we both really enjoyed the wings. There was one Hooters location near where we lived where you couldn't beat the wings. And like, yeah, that's what you wanted. And look, the thought of it being somehow inappropriate in Las Vegas, no, it was one of the more appropriate restaurants you could go to. So, that wasn't really the issue. So I get it for the food. I wonder the wisdom in creating a more family-friendly environment.
It is what it is. It just always has been. And it's different. It works. It's so hard to get yourself different from all your competitors. And this is what you've branded for how many years?
Yeah.
And now you want to change it?
I do enjoy the big socks. The big socks work for me.
That's very
odd,
Hardy's
but
alley,
yeah,
actually.
no, you're
Yes,
right.
that
Yeah.
yes.
You know what?
Yeah.
Cover those ankles.
Yeah, that's very
You
much.
strumpet.
Hardy finds himself strangely attracted to Chino Moreno from Deftones, who also wears the very high socks. But John's point is a salient one, which makes me think that there's got to be something. Hooters has to be looking at their quarterlies and saying, oh, well, revenue's down. We need to, fix the formula. Otherwise, because you're right, John, like that's the thing. Hooters has their thing, and it's always been their thing, and it's always worked for them.
Why
So
lose it?
In some way, it must not be.
Well,
it makes no sense.
As we get into Memorial Day weekend here and closer to summer, that means things like 4th of July and, of course, the Nathan's famous international hot dog eating contest. Good news, Joey Chestnut, reigning champion, 17-time winner of the event, will compete despite being on probation. I didn't know about this. He has pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor battery charge. Joey Chestnut accused of slapping a man on the face during a night out at an Indiana bar. He entered a guilty plea April 20th, was sentenced to 180 days of probation in Hamilton County.
But that has nothing to do with New York, does it?
No. His attorney said it was a misunderstanding. Police questioned Joey Chestnut. He said he was drunk, didn't remember slapping the guy, and he said the whole thing has been taken out of context. The slap was taken out of context?
No, that's a mistake. You
What
don't
are you doing
say
in an
that.
Indiana bar? What are you doing going to a bar in Indiana? What are you doing in Indiana in general?
Do you know what the current title is last year? Or how many hot dogs he ate last year?
No.
It was in the 60s, right?
70 and a half hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes.
We had the guy who finished runner-up a couple of times to him on the air.
Oh, I
Not
remember
too long
that,
ago, yeah.
Chestnut most recently won the 2026 Ultimate Bologna Showdown in Tennessee for a third straight year. How many pounds of sausage did he consume in 8 minutes?
8 minutes?
8 minutes. How many pounds?
Say 10. 10 pounds.
16.
I wanted the sausage.
Thank you.
I want sausages.
Man.
Scott Zolak coming in the studio for his Friday Memorial Day weekend show. No, Fred's not here today. Don't touch the chair. It could be contaminated. Have a great weekend. Fred will be here on Monday. John and I will be back on Tuesday. Have a great 3-day weekend. Bye.
Have a week.